It's Wednesday, April the 1st. Today, ponying up for your next pint. How much more it's going to cost to buy booze and its impact on local brewers. Also today, the call of the wild. How much Ottawa will spend to help protect the great outdoors here in Manitoba and other parts of the country. Plus, prepare to pay for that vacay. What's driving up prices in Manitoba's cottage country? Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. Happy Wednesday. Happy April Fool's Day to you. No fooling over here. And we have Ainsley McPhail live this morning at Cancer Care Manitoba. She's going to tell us about some of the youth and young adult programs that are there right now, and also introduce us to some of the patients that are either have fought and beat cancer or are in the midst of their journey. So we're going to find out more about that throughout the morning, but let's switch it now to weather. It's the first day of April. Is spring finally going to sprung? Spring sprung? Spring sprung?
No, it's still cold, especially this morning. Did you happen to catch the moon, though, on your way into work?
Yes, it's gorgeous.
It is beautiful. How's that for your first day of April? Very clear conditions to kick off your morning, which is why that moon was able to shine so brightly for us, and still is the case. As I was coming into work this morning, I saw it still looking so beautiful. So, yes, it's cold. It's -10, and that is well below seasonal. A normal low would be -5. So we're well off the mark of that. And then it feels even colder, even though the wind is light. A northeast breeze, 5 kilometers per hour, makes it feel like -13. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 94%. Now, I mentioned the clear conditions for now, but it likely won't last. We will see these clouds building up over the course of the day today. But there you can look and see that it's not just here in the south, much of the province on the clearer side. A few clouds through parts of northern Manitoba, but you can watch on the Futurecast how these clouds will be building up over the course of the day. And there you can see them kind of closing in. So enjoy the sunshine first thing, abundant sunshine, and rising just after 7 o'clock at I think 7:06, setting at 8 p.m. tonight. So a lot of things about today we have to look forward to. Even some warmer temperatures. Yeah, we could crack the freezing mark today. Not by much and not getting anywhere near what is normal for this time of year, but a plus digit at this time after where we've been. It feels like it's a bit of a victory, doesn't it? So today, yes, the increasing clouds, and then those clouds will be sticking around. But look, these temperatures, they're slowly going to be increasing. It's looking better. We might see some precipitation rolling through. That could be an early morning Saturday event. And then hopefully seeing more of that sunshine as we're looking on the other side of the weekend.
Thank you, Terry. Beer, wine, and spirits will cost more today. Every year, the federal government raises the price of booze with a tax increase tied to inflation. The hike this year is expected to be 2%. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, some brewers say they will have to eat the increase as they can't afford to raise their prices.
Everything that goes into making and selling this beer is going up. The ingredients, the packaging, and shipping costs.
It sucks. It is expensive. Everything is more expensive for us to buy. We try not to pass it on to the consumers.
Now, there's another increase coming, an annual tax hike on booze.
Yeah, every time things like that go up, it's more money out of our pocket.
Every April 1st, the federal government raises a tax on beer, wine, and spirits. A 2% hike is expected Wednesday as part of an automatic escalator tax. But brewery and restaurant associations are calling for relief, saying the tax is an additional burden for industries already operating with very thin margins.
It just continues to increase the cost of doing business and the cost that we have to pass on to the consumer, especially from a beverage standpoint of view.
The Manitoba Restaurant and Food Services Association says this hike will cost customers across Canada $41 million. They say the cost of booze is already driving customers away, including younger people who already drink less.
The recreational dollar that the average Manitoban has to go out to a restaurant, they're choosing to spend less in our restaurants. And you're just seeing a lot of restaurants kind of pivot away from alcohol.
But there are those who might welcome the tax increase. For example, on their website, the Canadian Partnership Against Cancer says higher alcohol prices are strongly associated with lower alcohol use. They say pricing and taxes are important policies to curb consumption and harms like cancer. Back at the brewery, Colin Coop says he'll have to gulp down the tax hike himself.
Every time these things go up, we can't really raise the prices of things too much, so it just kind of comes out of the bottom line.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
As you saw in this piece, younger people are drinking less alcohol. The Manitoba Restaurant and Food Services Association says their drink of choice is cold coffee. Changes are coming to some Winnipeg transit routes. The spring schedule changeover starts Sunday, April 12th. It will see longer late night hours on 10 routes across the city. 5 routes where ridership has been larger than expected will have more trips, while 2 others will see fewer runs due to lower ridership. You can find a full rundown of the route changes on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. The federal government's Buy Canadian policy has been flagged in a U.S. government report as a significant barrier to American exports. The Buy Canadian procurement policy was put in place to ensure Canadian bids are prioritized in government contracts worth $25 million or more. The new report by the Office of the United States Trade Representative also identified several other so-called trade irritants between Canada and the U.S. They include provincial liquor board rules that control imports of American wine, beer, and spirits to Canada. Other issues listed in the report include delays with aircraft validation in Canada and high tariffs on American dairy products. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is pushing back against the high-speed rail proposal that would link Toronto and Quebec City.
Conservatives oppose the $90 billion Liberal Alto train that we call on the Carney Liberals to cancel it. This $90 billion Liberal boondoggle does not make sense.
Conservatives have called the plans a Liberal land grab and a waste of taxpayer money. Supporters argue it will modernize transportation and will significantly reduce travel times between major cities. The end of door-to-door mail delivery could be en route. Canada Post is moving ahead with the restructuring plan ordered by the federal government. The Crown Corporation says it's transforming its business model to continue meeting the needs of Canadians without becoming a burden on taxpayers. In September, the federal government directed Canada Post to make several changes to ensure its survival, including converting of all remaining door-to-door delivery to community mailboxes. The Winnipeg Jets were looking to make it 2 wins in a row as they faced off against the Blackhawks in Chicago Tuesday night. The Blackhawks were leading 1-0 as the second period got underway, but that score did not hold for long. Just about a minute into the period, Josh Morrissey skates to the Chicago net, and with this nifty backhand, gets the Jets on the board tied at 1. With 8:43 remaining in the second, the Jets on the power play. This 2-on-1 develops, and the Jets capitalize with a goal as Alex Iafallo feeds Cole Perfetti, and the Jets are up 2-1. The Jets would get another one in the second from Isaac Rosen, and the Hawks get 2 of their own to tie it at the end of regulation. Then 33 seconds into overtime, Kyle Connor takes a pass from Mark Scheifele. Connor buries this one, and the Jets win 4-3. Connor Hellebuck made 18 saves for the Winnipeg Jets. The Jets have won 4 of their last 5 games. Winnipeg visits the Dallas Stars Thursday night. Puck drop is at 7. It was all smiles and cheers in Gimli Tuesday afternoon as the community came out to celebrate a hometown hero.
Do I look okay? No, I don't like that.
Fans gathered at Gimli's Ford dealership to celebrate Carrie Ainerson's successful curling season. She was joined by second Shannon Burchard as the pair signed autographs and posed for pictures.
They're darn good. They are very, very good.
We have 2 national treasures, Carrie Einerson and Crown Royal.
All small communities are like that. They all come together to support one another, and you know, there's quite a few good curlers that come out of Gimli, and you know, you got Colton, you got Kadrian a lot. Like, there's a few of us, and they support us throughout our journey, and it's been very, very special.
Ainerson won silver at the World Women's Curling Championships earlier this month and notched her 5th national championship at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in February. The team also finished 3rd at the Canadian Olympic Trials in February. Some would argue Tom Selleck's sidekick in Magnum PI was just as famous, and now it's about to get a new owner. Back in 1980, this bright red Ferrari 308 GTS rose to fame, and now it could be yours. The classic car will be on the auction block later this month in Florida. The car will be hitting the block with no starting bid, so it's anyone's guess what it could go for. The auction will run from April 16th to the 18th. What a ride. All right, here's a look at what's happening outside now on the Potawatomi Bridge. Looks like it's a pretty smooth ride over here as well. If you see any issues out there, please let us know. Let's now go to Ainsley McPhail, who's with Cancer Care Manitoba this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi. Hi, good morning. We're talking about their young adult program. Now, these are the folks who are impacted with the ages 15 to 39. When it comes to cancer, oftentimes we think of the little ones and families dealing with this, and we also think about our aging population. However, those folks in the middle are often overlooked, and there are wraparound supports for them at Cancer Care, whether that's peer support, whether that's the counselor who we're going to be speaking with at 6:37 or 6:42, I should say, and so much more. And the things that they're going through, my goodness, it's so hard on the heart. We've got someone with the 12th round of chemo, a 36-year-old with stage 3 melanoma, and a 33-year-old with stage 4 lung cancer. So the emotional and the physical toll going on with these individuals, it's truly remarkable. Back to you.
Okay, well, thank you for this. Let's go out to the rooftop now. It's a gorgeous, clear sky. The moon is nice and bright, and it's perfect because the astronauts, hopefully, if all goes well with Artemis 2, they're on their way there.
We'll watch them.
Yes.
Well, I mean,
might see them.
Yeah. So there's just a couple of clouds that have started to move in front of the moon now, but it kind of has that cool little bit of an eerie effect to it. And I love that I'm up here on the rooftop because I feel like I'm almost at eye level, which is, I've talked about how quickly the moon can move. I mean, when I was on my way into work a couple of hours ago, it seemed so high in the sky, and now as it's kind of into its setting phase, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong, I'm high off the ground, but still, I feel like I'm right there with the moon. Anyway, -10 is where we're sitting right now. I got the big parka on. -12 is what it feels like once you're factoring in the winds. 5K winds are out of the east right now, and they'll get a little bit stronger through the day today. Pressure is falling, humidity at 93%. These clear conditions, clouds cleared out, and those temperatures, as a result, really dropped off. So we are well below seasonal this morning. I'm not mad about having chosen the extra parka. Do I love pulling out the parka in April? No, I don't, but I'd rather be warm than complain about it. So dress up properly for these cool morning temperatures, knowing that we will see some improvements throughout the day today. The temperatures probably to crack the freezing mark. It would be nice to see because it seems like it's been a while. Well, I guess maybe since the weekend. It was pleasant over the weekend, but we'll get back to those plus-digit temperatures now through the rest of the week. Taking a break. We'll see you soon.
Weather is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. Same-day oil and tire changes.
Good morning. The federal government has introduced a $3.8 billion strategy to protect Canada's natural environment, and it includes money for a new protected area here in Manitoba.
Our country is blessed by an incredible natural heritage. From the rugged Atlantic shores to the towering peaks of the Rockies, from the sweeping prairies to the boreal forests, from the Arctic to the sprawling mountains of British Columbia. Nature is at the heart of Canada. It is at the heart of our identity.
The plan is to create new national parks and marine conservation areas. The Seal River Watershed National Park Reserve in northern Manitoba is included. It's an area about 50,000 square kilometers just west of Churchill, which is home to at least 25 at-risk species. The announcement was made weeks after conservation groups warned federal funding was running out. One of Canada's most well-known human rights advocates has died after a battle with cancer. For more than 2 decades, former Ontario NDP leader Stephen Lewis worked with the United Nations to draw attention to the severity of the AIDS epidemic in Africa and around the globe. He was 88 years old. CTV's Annie Bergeron-Oliver has more on his life and legacy.
A passionate and determined humanitarian, Stephen Lewis never hesitated to speak his mind.
What kind of a world do we live in where the life of an African child or an Asian child is worth so much less than the life of a Canadian child?
After dropping out of law school in the 1960s, Lewis moved to Africa and became a lifelong advocate for the region, committed to improving the lives of those struggling through the HIV and AIDS epidemic.
You witness it, and you experience a kind of simultaneous spasm of helplessness and anger and resolve.
His dedication led to more than 2 decades with the United Nations, serving in positions from Canada's UN ambassador to deputy director of UNICEF.
Congratulations.
And a UN special envoy for AIDS in Africa.
I cannot remember in my entire adult life scenes of such unendurable human desolation. It was heartbreaking.
Lewis was immersed in politics from a young age.
There isn't a law on the statute books of this country that doesn't carry the imprint of the CCF and the NDP.
His father, David Lewis, served as the National Secretary of the Canadian Commonwealth Federation, or CCF. When his dad was leading the federal New Democrats, he was leading the party in Ontario. And decades later, just days before his death, Lewis's son Avi would go on to become the federal NDP leader.
There's something almost quaint in the Russians investigating the NDP.
Stephen Lewis's debating skills, compassion, and his honesty gained him widespread respect at home and abroad.
What we have been suggesting is an agenda of work for Ontario. An agenda of work which implies a shared government and a shared leadership, which the people of this province seem to be conveying to the politicians.
A life of leadership that will live on through the continued work of the Stephen Lewis Foundation, a nonprofit that since 2003 has helped provide care for women, children, and communities suffering from AIDS and HIV.
I was clobbered by the carnage of the pandemic that I was witnessing in Africa and desperate to do something about it in a concrete way. And thus the foundation was formed.
A legacy of bringing attention to the plight of those less fortunate and forgotten. Annie Bergeron-Oliver, CTV News, Ottawa.
A positive update from the family of a 12-year-old girl in BC who was seriously wounded in the deadly school shooting in Tumbler Ridge. Maya Gabella, who was shot in the head and neck, is out of the ICU. Her father's emotional social media post says that with help, the 12-year-old was able to sit up. He wrote, quote, "I am finally able to wrap my arms around my daughter and hold her tight," adding, "We are getting there." 9 people, including the teenage shooter, were killed in the tragedy. Buckingham Palace has confirmed King Charles and Queen Camilla will make a state visit to the White House in late April. The royal couple will mark the 250th anniversary of American independence from British rule with a trip to Washington from April 27th to the 30th. The visit takes place as tensions are strained between the U.S. and the U.K. over Britain's reluctance to get involved in the Iran war. A Manitoba photographer is helping seniors feel like kings and queens.
You're dressed up, you look like a goddess, you look like a queen, you look like royalty.
That's the goal of photographer Janessa Kohler's Goddess Project. Over 2 days in February, she photographed 32 residents at Bettle Home in Gimli. Each donned crowns, tiaras, jewels, and more. The seniors weren't able to look in a mirror until the camera started clicking, and the reaction was priceless.
For the most part, most of the expressions were flabbergasted, amazed, definitely in awe of themselves that they could even look like that. A lot of them didn't even recognize themselves.
Kohler says some of the seniors even took on the role playing to the camera, such as Anna, who turned 103 yesterday. Kohler plans to present each king and queen with a framed portrait from the session at a special event in early April. She also hopes to host more photo shoots to bring seniors into focus in the future. Love that so much. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Sherbrooke Street. One lane will be closed from sewer work from Portage to Ellis Avenue. Following the rush hours on Portage Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Gary to Smith Street, and the eastbound curb lane will be closed from Fort to Main Street. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text at 10400.
And looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. It is still gorgeous and quite clear. That moon on display, honestly, it's looking so gorgeous. I did post a little video on my Instagram if you want to see what it looks like, or if you want to see what downtown looks like, because I actually captured that one from the street outside. And if you haven't been downtown lately to see what they've done around Graham and right outside our building here, it looks cool. So anyway, that's on my Instagram page. You'll find it there. And that moon, yes, gorgeous, full and bright this morning. It is a little bit crisp out there, so if you want to go out and do some moon gazing, throw those extra layers on. -9 here in Winnipeg. Cooler temperatures off to the west right now. We're seeing mid-minus teens. Temperatures do tend to drop off when we don't have that blanket of clouds that have been providing that bit of insulation, and so the clear conditions are resulting in some colder temperatures this morning. Unless you're up in the north where it is a little bit cloudier. Lynn Lake, look at you, -7, one of the warmest spots in the province. Even Churchill is doing so much better than it's been, coming in at at minus 19. Now you factor in the winds. It still does feel mid-minus 20s in the far north. Here, those winds are so light they're barely having much impact at all. But those winds will be increasing throughout the day today. Clouds will also be increasing, so don't expect these clear conditions to last. The clouds will be moving in. Folks right along that very southern border may see some scattered flurry activity. The possibility is there. With these clouds building up, the winds will also be increasing, but we might crack the freezing mark today, +1 on tap. Now, 6 degrees, that would be a normal daytime high. We are nowhere near what is seasonal, but at least getting above the freezing mark seems like a little bit of a victory. So yes, the clouds increasing. They'll stick around for the next few days. We should see a little more sunshine on the other side of that. And there's that moon looking so gorgeous. Just a few clouds beginning to move in front of it now. So get out early. Well, you have to get out early. Otherwise, that moon sets. Oh, and this. Okay, so this is Frank in Georgia. Why the long face, Georgia? Maybe it's all of this snow that's still sticking around. Thank you so much to Shannon for sharing your pooches with us. Keep the pictures coming to Winnipeg Weather at CTV.ca, and we'll see you right after this break.
If you're looking for inspiration on your home projects, Your Morning Winnipeg has a contest that could help. The Winnipeg Home and Garden Show runs April 9th through the 12th at the RBC Convention Centre, and we have a few prizes to give away. This is your last chance to walk away with a $500 gift card, 4 tickets to the show with VIP seating, and a meet and greet with Brian Baumler. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keyword home. Good luck. After several delays, the final countdown is on for NASA's moon mission. Artemis 2 is set to blast off tonight with Canadian Colonel Jeremy Hansen on board. CTV's Heather Wright is in Cape Canaveral, Florida for the last-minute preparations.
With every passing second, Artemis 2 gets closer to liftoff.
The team is preparing. I think everybody's pretty excited and understands the significance of this launch.
This mission will be the fastest and furthest any crew has gone, a 10-day trip around the moon and back. The astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, remain in quarantine, waiting for the first launch window.
He'll be spending time with people who are really close to him, family, and he's probably going to be going to bed really early and sleep shifting so that they can get on the schedule they'll be on for this moon mission. Now, whether or not he'll be successful, I don't know. Do you think you'd be able to sleep if you were going to the moon the next morning?
Joshua Kutrick is a Canadian astronaut who says a lot needs to go right for a successful liftoff.
It's immensely complicated. It is the most powerful rocket that's ever been built, and it's full of millions of high-tech components. So technologically, this is a very big challenge.
And the challenges are only going to grow. NASA has ambitious plans for space exploration, including a moon base by 2030.
I think of this as just the opening chapter in a grand story of astronauts going to and from the moon with great frequency.
To achieve those goals, NASA Administrator Jarek Isaacman says collaborating with international partners like Canada will be critical.
Canada is leaning forward with robotic expertise for our ambitions on the lunar surface. It's exciting to think about the potential when you're not just going to the moon for a couple of days, but actually trying to create an enduring presence for, its scientific and economic potential.
Canada was slated to provide a Canadarm3 for Gateway, a lunar orbital space station which has since been paused. But Canadian Space Agency President Lisa Campbell says many opportunities for Canadian expertise remain.
I'm very confident with the number of missions that are planned for the moon and beyond that agencies and countries like Canada, who have both a deep space heritage but also all sorts of new modern capabilities, are going to have lots to offer.
The launch window officially opens at 6:24 p.m. and while officials say there is an 80% chance of favorable weather, there are winds and cumulus clouds in the forecast. It's something NASA's weather officer is going to be keeping a close eye on as we get closer to launch. Heather Wright, CTV News, Cape Canaveral, Florida.
Beautiful and clear. Oh, look how many clouds moved in. That was quick. There goes the moon. I was talking, it's so beautiful and clear and bright, and that moon is looking so gorgeous, and now we can barely see it. -10 feels like -12. East winds 5 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling. The humidity sitting at 93%. Yeah, when I was on the rooftop about 15 minutes ago. How long ago was I there? 10 minutes ago? Whatever. I was just beginning to see the clouds wisping in front of it. When I was coming into work this morning, so clear and beautiful and bright, like the most crisp edges to it. So if you missed that, the video's up on my Instagram. But like, yeah, now we've got some clouds that have settled in. Unfortunately for us, we'll see those clouds continuously building up throughout the day today. I say unfortunately because I was really hopeful to see that sun lasting a little bit longer. We are still likely to climb above the freezing mark. Now, 6 degrees is a normal daytime high, so we're still going to be well below seasonal, but above the freezing mark seems like a little bit of a victory compared to where we've been the last couple of days. That being said, I wore the parka this morning because these morning temperatures are quite chilly, but perhaps later on this afternoon it will be feeling better, though that breeze will also be increasing along with those clouds. The wind's tapering off tonight, however, as we drop down to -4, so this coming night won't be anywhere as cold as this past night was. And tomorrow, back up above the freezing mark, not by much, but we'll take every little bit. And the heavier clouds, they're likely to be sticking around, but maybe a few breaks in them, some moments of sunshine here or there. Then, as we continue through the rest of the week, we will notice those temperatures slowly making some gains, almost getting close to seasonal. We could be seeing another round of that precipitation early Saturday morning, and hopefully then a little more sunshine on the other side of the weekend, though it does look like it'll be cooling down again.
Ukrainian refugees in Manitoba and across the rest of the country are getting a reprieve from the federal government. Ottawa has just announced it will give them more time to extend their work permits. The rules affect Ukrainian people who came here as part of the Canada-Ukraine Authorization for Emergency Travel program. The temporary measure allows them to work in Canada while Russia's war against Ukraine continues. On Tuesday, Immigration Minister Lena Diab said they would give Ukrainians an extra year to apply to extend their work permits. They now have until March 31st, 2027 to apply to extend their work permits for up to 3 years. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, roughly 30,000 Ukrainians have made Manitoba their new home. The Prime Minister is condemning Israel's ground operation in Lebanon.
The government of Lebanon has banned Hezbollah. It's taking action, is trying to take action against Hezbollah and their terrorist activities and their threats to Israel, and that is the purported justification for this invasion. So we condemn it.
Mark Carney calls it an illegal invasion and a violation of territorial sovereignty. Carney also called for a ceasefire to end the conflict as Israeli ground troops move deeper into the country. The Center for Israel and Jewish Affairs has responded, writing online that it is, quote, deeply concerned by Carney's comments, given that Hezbollah is a terrorist proxy of the Iranian regime and a global threat. While the snow may still be on the ground, many Manitobans are dreaming of cottage country, but the price of paradise may become a bit more costly. A new report from Royal LePage shows recreational property prices are on the rise. CTV's Joseph Bernacki visited the Interlake to find out more.
After 30 years of living in Dunnottar, Irene McCaig and her husband Don say it's bittersweet to say goodbye to their piece of paradise.
We've been here since 1996, and it's time to move on and do different things now.
They recently listed their 1,500 square foot Interlake home 3 weeks ago. McCaig says it's already attracting buyers.
Well, it's relaxing. It's cottage, mostly cottage area, but it's changing into long-term buyers year-round.
And the price buyers are willing to offer may be higher than the couple ever imagined years ago.
Prices have gone up substantially over the years just because of the recreation area.
And a new real estate report from Royal LePage confirms what they've heard. Their 2026 spring recreational property price forecast shows median prices are way up in Manitoba. A single-family home increased 4.6% year over year. And if you're by the waterfront, that median price increased 5.7% compared to last year. On top of this, Interlake realtors say there's been steady demand since the pandemic.
Families are just wanting someplace they can go, relax, and start making their own memories. There's no better place to do it than at the lake.
Karen Mashut sells properties on both sides of Lake Winnipeg. She says it took only days to sell this Fraserwood property. Mashut says the increase in asking price isn't necessarily scaring buyers away.
Everybody wants to be out here, so it's been a strong market. They're a little surprised at right now what they can get for their cottage.
David Conefall and his wife Corey bought this Dunnottar cottage just over a year ago. They say they got in at the right time.
I do a 9-kilometer run every day, and I see the signs go up and I see the signs go down. Nothing's for sale for very long.
We're very happy that we bought a few years ago and not trying to get into this market now.
Joseph Bernacki, CTV News, Dunn Otter.
Some Instagram users may soon be able to pay for extra features. The social media app is testing a pay tier, which gives users extra benefits. They include allowing subscribers to anonymously view story posts, as well as giving users more control over who can see what they share. According to TechCrunch, the new tier is being tested in Japan, Mexico, and the Philippines, with subscription prices hovering around $2 a month. Prepare yourself to see the world's largest escalator. Officials in China have unveiled what's being called the world's longest outdoor escalator. The massive structure is made up of 21 combined escalators spanning nearly 3,000 feet in length. That's 914 meters. It climbs the height of an 80-story building. It was a nail-biter finish for Matt Dunstone Tuesday morning over at the Men's World Curling Championships.
Lot with the line call.
Curl!
Now, curl now. Get it over. Here we go. Can you touch this over and sit down for 4? And yes, you can sit down.
The Winnipeg-based rink won its third straight with an 8-4 win over China. Those two teams were tied heading into the 8th end, but Dunstone managed 4 points with his final rock for the win. And Dunstone's team was back in action Tuesday night, winning in decisive fashion against Sweden 10-3. Canada now sits tied for third with Scotland at 6-2. The Dunstone rink takes on Switzerland this morning and Czechia tonight. Here's what's happening now on Osborne Street. Looks like things are pretty smooth in this part of the city. If you see any problems out there, though, please send us a text. And here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is continuing to rise. Right now it's at $1.77. The provincial average is $1.69. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.71. And the lowest price in the city is $1.50. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Ainsley McPhail is live with the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation this morning, talking about some of the young adult programs being offered there for patients of cancer. Stay with us.
Weather is brought to you by Strictly Amish, exclusively in Arborg, Manitoba.
All right, it is beautiful out here. And you're like, really? You're wearing your parka? Okay, I did choose my parka, which is part of why I can step outside and feel as good as I do, because I'm properly dressed for it. Do we have some cold and well below seasonal temperatures this morning? You betcha. -10, and then it feels like -12, though the winds, they're light. Thank goodness for that. They're 5 kilometers per hour out of the east right now. Pressure falling, humidity sitting at 93%, but the conditions fairly clear. I can no longer see the moon, but I think that has more to do with the positioning of it than how many clouds, because I can also see the glow of where the sun will be rising at 7:06. That's how early that sun is coming up now. So we're only less than half an hour away from sunrise this morning, and the glow is looking good. I think we're going to be seeing a bit of that sunshine through the morning hours before it will likely cloud over. Those clouds will be increasing throughout the day today, but the temperatures will also be warming up a little more than they've been. The last couple of days have been, oh, see, look at that. And headed to a high of +1. Oh, that should say +1 at 5 p.m. Maybe I stuck a little minus sign in there. I didn't mean to. +1, cracking the freezing mark. It's going to feel good. Heading over now to Ainsley McPhail, see where she is and what's going on. Hey, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. We're at Cancer Care. I'm joined by Ian Scott, who's a counselor here with the Young Adults Program. If you didn't know about the Young Adults Program, it helps folks out who are 15 to 39, so in that window, struggling through cancer. When it comes to cancer and the various challenges psychologically that these folks are obviously facing, just how prevalent is the challenging mental health?
Well, I think something that Manitobans should know that we have elements of our care that are going to be different when we're teens or young adults. Life is different when you're 15, life is different when you're in your 20s and 30s, and so cancer experiences are going to be different too. So that also means that people receiving care here are going to receive differences in how they experience stress or anxiety, fertility concerns, having to leave work and school at that age. And so with the help of the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation and all the generous donors across our province, we've built a true multidisciplinary program to help support these folks.
And what comes along with a cancer diagnosis, fear, uncertainty, family challenges. What are you hearing from the patients?
We're hearing that they need curated, tailored support, and that's what we've been able to do here at Cancer Care Manitoba, along with the support of the foundation. So I'm one of the counselors here, but we also have a clinical nurse specialist, an occupational therapist, a dietitian, a program coordinator, and there's lots of other people sprinkled throughout the organization supporting these 15 to 39-year-olds and their families and peer networks. And so that's what we've tried to do. We run a support group, we have meetup events. We do lots of different things to help them find community as they go through this. And it's also important to remember that cancer doesn't end on the day of your last treatment. There's lots of fear of recurrence. There's lots of stress that comes up trying to reintegrate into school and work. And so we try to support them well beyond their final day of treatment as well.
Thank you so much for this conversation. It's such an important one, a group that's often overlooked and dealing with a lot of challenges right now. More coming up with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Here's a look at the early markets. The Dow Jones added 297 points. The Nasdaq is 221 points higher. The S&P index had small gains. The Canadian dollar is slightly up, set to 71.97 cents U.S. Overseas, the Hang Seng jumped 505 points, and the Nikkei had significant gains, 2,675 points. Good morning. It is 6:46. A teacher in the Frontier School Division has been stripped of his certificates after admitting to giving a student cannabis last year. The details were published in a resolution agreement on the province's teaching registry. It says David Duke admitted to messaging an underage high school student sometime around late September and arranging a meeting with them where he provided a cannabis vape pen and alcohol. An investigation was launched a few months later, which resulted in Duke admitting to the facts of the case and agreeing it constituted professional misconduct. Duke received his teaching certificate in 1995 and was on a leave of absence at the time. Trade issues are now being flagged in a new American report. The Office of the United States Trade Representative is highlighting what it calls trade irritants between Canada and the U.S. The annual document says barriers imposed by provincial liquor control boards, quote, greatly hamper exports of U.S. wine, beer, and spirits to Canada. Several provinces pulled American booze from shelves last year after U.S. President Donald Trump imposed tariffs. The document states the U.S. wants its alcohol to immediately and permanently return to all markets. The report also raised concerns over the federal government's Buy Canadian procurement policy that aims to ensure Canadian products and workers are prioritized in contracts worth $25 million or more. Air Canada has been fined $426,000 for violating passenger rights rule. The Canadian Transportation Agency found Air Canada failed to offer refunds or rebookings for some customers during last summer's flight attendant strike. Federal rules require airlines to provide those options free of charge when cancellations are outside their control. Air Canada has until April 18th to ask for a review. Prime Minister Mark Carney says he has no interest in proroguing Parliament, even if the Liberals win 3 upcoming by-elections.
If you get a majority government in 10 days, are you considering proroguing Parliament, which may get in the way of any potential legislation?
Okay, absolutely not. It has never even entered my thinking.
The by-elections are set for April 13th, 2 in Toronto area ridings and 1 in Quebec, where the Supreme Court overturned the results in Terrebonne after the Liberal candidate won by a single vote. The Liberals have hovered around the threshold for a majority government since last April's general election. Carney says the government is focused on getting legislation through Parliament and adjusting legislation where it needs to be. Closing arguments are underway in the sexual assault trial of billionaire businessman Frank Stronach. Stronach's defense lawyer has argued his accusers lied and in some cases fabricated their accounts. The defense also criticized what it describes as tunnel vision among the officers who investigated the allegations, arguing it tainted the evidence. Crown prosecutors say any inconsistencies in the complainant's testimony were peripheral and did not affect the core of their allegations. Prosecutors have withdrawn 5 charges related to 3 complainants over the course of the trial. That means Stronach, who is now 93 years old, faces 7 charges related to 4 women. The Crown is set to finish its final submissions today. Firefighters are trying a new way to put out fires. This device doesn't shoot out water, it shoots sound waves. And the video does show it's able to put out fire. How does it work? Well, the sound waves vibrate oxygen to the point where it can't feed the fire. Right now, the technology is designed to put out house fires, helping prevent water damage. We now know who Canada will face in its first match at the FIFA World Cup on home soil.
World Cup. And he does! It got underneath Donnarumma! The Italian curse continues!
Bosnia and Herzegovina upset Italy in a penalty shootout, setting up a face-off with Canada on June the 12th in Toronto. Italian fans were left heartbroken again, missing their third World Cup. Here's a look at some of the road closures that are happening on Sherbrooke Street. One lane will be closed for sewer work from Portage to Ellis Avenue. And then following the rush hours on Portage Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Gary to Smith Street, and the eastbound curb lane will be closed from Fort to Main Street. If you see any other issues, send us a text, please.
Look how beautiful of a morning we're waking up to. -10, feels like -12. There is a bit of a breeze, but barely. It's a 5K wind out of the east with the pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. That is a stunning look outside this morning. Fairly clear overall. We will see those clouds building up throughout the day today, so enjoy the sunshine through the morning hours, as that'll be disappearing as those clouds stack up. Right now, you can see much of the province on the clearer side this morning. So I was talking about that full moon, beautiful and bright earlier on this morning. You might not get a chance to see that this coming night because of the heavier clouds that will be in place, even though it will still be in a very full phase, obviously, but the extra clouds will also be around by then. Right up into parts of the north, you can expect maybe pockets of sunshine moments. There will be some places. Look at these temperatures. This is a bit of a shock compared to where you've been. Parts of northern Manitoba could be pushing up above the freezing mark today. The possibility of some precipitation moving in around the Lynn Lake area. Lynn Lake, I think this morning was sitting around -7. So one of the warmest spots in the province right now, in fact. Here in the south, it's been a little bit colder this morning, but we should be at least making some gains today and getting up around the freezing mark. Now, seasonal daytime highs for southern Manitoba would have us around 6 degrees, +6. Are we going to get there? Absolutely not. Not even close, really. But cracking the freezing mark after the last couple of days, or to think that we're at -10 this morning and well below seasonal and could get into the plus digits, we'll take that as a little bit of a win. Along with that, the bit of sunshine that we'll be enjoying throughout the day today. That'll look good. But I mentioned those clouds will be building up and then hanging around through tomorrow. Mainly cloudy. We might have a few pockets of sunshine tomorrow, but mainly cloudy conditions probably through the rest of this week, and could even see some precipitation passing through. But look at the warm up for the weekend. We're back up almost to those seasonal temperatures before the sunshine clears things out and those temperatures start to fall off again.
Thank you, Terry. Fans are being warned to stay on alert for ticket scams for upcoming matches in Toronto and Vancouver. CTV's Adrian Gabriel on what to watch out for.
David steps up and finishes coolly!
The authenticity of Canada's men's soccer team is well documented, yet the lead up to co-hosting the World Cup is now fraught with fraud.
Fraudsters try to capitalize on vulnerabilities. They know that so many Canadians and people outside of Canada want to attend these events.
The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre confirms they're now working with the RCMP, Vancouver and Toronto police ahead of this June's World Cup as they work to weed out bad actors across the country and beyond.
I was embarrassed to even tell my wife, and I was actually embarrassed to do this interview, to be fair, because I'm in my 40s, man.
Adonis Ibrahim runs a rec soccer league in Windsor, Ontario. Like many, he's desperate to get his hands on a World Cup ticket. He ended up on Facebook Marketplace, where he shared that he was looking for a single ticket to Canada's opener in Toronto.
Good.
Someone, apparently named Ava Green, sent Ibrahim this message. They agreed on a price of $400, half of which he paid up front. The tickets never arrived.
I was taken advantage of, and I'm doing this because I don't want it to happen to anyone else.
Fans are also being duped into paying for World Cup rental properties that don't exist. Counterfeit merchandise is also on the rise. The Canadian Anti-Fraud Centre is advising individuals to only use FIFA's verified exchange platform for resale tickets. Avoid third-party sites selling tickets and merchandise. For short-term rentals, be cautious if the price appears too good to be true. Use a credit card with fraud protection whenever possible when making a purchase.
Don't get scammed. It's not a good feeling.
With Team Canada preparing to take on the world, Ibrahim has been left still searching for a single ticket to fulfill a lifelong dream.
There are still some more affordable, legitimate tickets available for the two upcoming friendlies in Edmonton and Montreal before Team Canada officially kicks off its World Cup right here at BMO Field on June 12th. Adrian Gabriel, CTV News, Toronto.
A tiny hummingbird making a home in a Vancouver backyard is bringing joy to people around the world. CTV's Adam Sawatsky reports.
After he first noticed the bird in his backyard, Jorge Parra didn't give it a second thought.
Okay, whatever. And then all of a sudden we kind of looked and we go, hey, there's a nest.
A nest being built by a hummingbird who Jorge and his wife named Amor.
And it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. We go, wow, this is amazing.
And soon Amor started making it fuller and fuller.
Next thing you know, there's an egg. And we saw the egg.
And then there were two, the size of Tic Tacs, before hatching.
Oh, there's the baby!
To reveal siblings no bigger than jelly beans.
Such an incredible little creature came out of that egg.
They named the first Pickle before calling the second Jelly Bean.
This is such an amazing experience. I don't want to be the only one enjoying it. I want everybody else to enjoy it.
So Jorge set up a camera, focused it on the feathered family, and started live streaming it daily.
You see these little creatures, you just can't help but smile.
But Jorge never imagined just how helpful those smiles would be for the hundreds of people who started watching his video in 13 countries around the world.
They say, yes, there's a war going on, but you know what? This gives me a break.
And the moments of peace, the moments of caring, the moments when siblings encourage each other to spread their wings, gives them hope.
Forget about all the bad stuff and just watch nature, watch beauty, watch life grow.
And know that even when it seems like everything is going wrong, if you take the time to look, you can always find something to remind you that everything will work out right.
There's no other feeling than just joy. These little creatures are bringing joy and peace.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Vancouver.
That's beautiful. All right, here's a look outside now at the Provencher Bridge. Things are slowly picking up this morning. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this with your 7 o'clock headlines. It's Wednesday, April the 1st. Today, booze tax hike. Alcohol prices rise today as a 2% federal increase kicks in, with brewers warning of mounting costs. Plus, Nature Fund boost how a $3.8 billion federal plan will protect land, including a new northern Manitoba reserve. And Jets steal OT. The Winnipeg Jets snatch it late in overtime and fly out with a win. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba at 7 o'clock on April the Fools. Thank you so much for joining us here.
No fooling here.
No fooling here. It's all fun, though. There's no fooling about that. And at 7:52, it's Sikh Heritage Month. So April is a big month, jam-packed with all kinds of events and activities. So we're going to find out more about it and the significance of the Sikh community here in Manitoba. But let's talk about the weather.
Oh, okay.
It's not yet spring.
I mean, that's where the joke is this morning.
Yeah.
But it's not all bad news. We're actually going to see some improvements over where we've been. So the worst part is these morning temperatures, -10, feeling like -12. Yeah, that is well below seasonal and colder than it's been over the past little while. But look beyond that. And I mean, literally look beyond that, because that sky just behind our graphics there is absolutely gorgeous this morning. Beautiful. It was clear earlier on this morning. Now you can see there's a few clouds beginning to move in. East winds, 5 clicks, the pressure is falling, and the humidity is sitting at 93%. So those clear conditions, yes, already beginning to change a little bit, but the fact that the clouds moved in right at sunrise time just makes for a prettier, more dramatic sunrise. 7:06, by the way, so we are just minutes away from the official rising of the sun. And then, yes, those clouds will continue to increase throughout the day today, but the temperatures will also be increasing. I know it's a cold start to your day. We're well below seasonal, and even with the gains that we're going to make today, we'll remain well below seasonal, but we might at least hit the plus digits. So There's where the thumbs up. I'm going to give 2 thumbs up for that. In fact, actually, I should only give 1 because 1 degree is where we're headed. Anyway, we'll get there. Let's talk about the clouds that'll be building up over the course of the day. Some places right along that very southern border could even see some scattered flurries, and parts of northern Manitoba could see a few flakes of snow as well. These heavier clouds, they're going to linger into tomorrow. We might get some breaks at times, letting some sunshine through. Overall, mainly cloudy conditions tomorrow and Friday, and into the weekend we could even see a bit more precipitation. But into the weekend, look at these temperatures, almost seasonal. 6 degrees now normal for this time of year, so almost. It won't last long though. Sunshine clears things out. Temperatures will be dropping off again. Our art today, very cool. If you look right in the bottom right hand corner, there's a little wiener roast that's happening out there under what looks like a stormy sky. Ashton, 8 years old. I love the creativity here. Keep the art coming, please. You now submit it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. You'll enter your art to be showcased here on TV, but as you do that, you're also getting entered to win a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenniston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
Beer, wine, and spirits will cost more today. Every year, the federal government raises the price of booze with a tax increase tied to inflation. The hike this year is expected to be 2%. But as CTV's Jeff Keel shows you, some brewers say they will have to eat the increase as they can't afford to raise their prices.
Everything that goes into making and selling this beer is going up. The ingredients, the packaging, and shipping costs.
It sucks. It is expensive. Everything is more expensive for us to buy. We try not to pass it on to the consumers.
Now, there's another increase coming, an annual tax hike on booze.
Yeah, every time things like that go up, it's more money out of our pocket.
Every April 1st, the federal government raises a tax on beer, wine, and spirits. A 2% hike is expected Wednesday as part of an automatic escalator tax. But brewery and restaurant associations are calling for relief, saying the tax is an additional burden for industries already operating with very thin margins.
It just continues to increase the cost of doing business and the cost that we have to pass on to the consumer, especially from a beverage standpoint of view.
The Manitoba Restaurant and Food Services Association says this hike will cost customers across Canada $41 million. They say the cost of booze is already driving customers away, including younger people who already drink less.
The recreational dollar that the average Manitoban has to go out to a restaurant, they're choosing to spend less in our restaurants. And you're just seeing a lot of restaurants kind of pivot away from alcohol.
But there are those who might welcome the tax increase. For example, on their website, the Canadian Partnership Against Cancer says higher alcohol prices are strongly associated with lower alcohol use. They say pricing and taxes are important policies to curb consumption and harms like cancer. Back at the brewery, Colin Coop says he'll have to gulp down the tax hike himself.
Every time these things go up, we can't really raise the prices of things too much, so it just kind of comes out of the bottom line.
Jeff Keel, CTV News, Winnipeg.
As you saw in the piece, younger people are drinking less alcohol. The Manitoba Restaurant and Food Services Association says their drink of choice is cold coffee. The federal government has introduced a $3.8 billion strategy to protect Canada's natural environment, and it includes money for a new protected area here in Manitoba.
Our country is blessed by an incredible natural heritage. From the rugged Atlantic shores to the towering peaks of the Rockies, from the sweeping prairies to the boreal forests, from the Arctic to the sprawling mountains of British Columbia. Nature is at the heart of Canada. It is at the heart of our identity.
The plan is to create new national parks and marine conservation areas. The Seal River Watershed National Park Reserve in northern Manitoba is included. It's an area about 50,000 square kilometers just west of Churchill, which is home to at least 25 at-risk species. The announcement was made weeks after conservation groups warned federal funding was running out. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is pushing back against the high-speed rail proposal that would link Toronto and Quebec City.
Conservatives oppose the $90 billion Liberal Alto train that we call on the Carney Liberals to cancel it. This $90 billion Liberal boondoggle does not make sense.
Conservatives have called the plans a Liberal land grab and a waste of taxpayer money. Supporters argue it will modernize transportation and will significantly reduce travel times between major cities. It's still all systems go for the Artemis 2 launch, which could happen today.
People are excited and ready to go on this this first chapter on our way back to the moon since the 1970s. So we're very excited.
The earliest the launch can happen is at 6:24 p.m. Eastern. 4 astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, are in quarantine ahead of the launch. The mission will take the crew around the moon in NASA's first lunar mission in more than 50 years. Before blastoff can happen, there will be final tests and checks on the Orion spacecraft. The weather will also need to cooperate. Today's launch window lasts for 2 hours with an 80% chance of favorable weather. If the launch doesn't happen today, other windows will open through April 6th. The Winnipeg Jets were looking to make it 2 wins in a row as they faced off against the Blackhawks in Chicago Tuesday night. The Blackhawks were leading 1-0 as the second period got underway, but that score did not hold for long. Just about a minute into the period, Josh Morrissey skates to the Chicago net and with this nifty backhand gets the Jets on the board tied at 1. Later, with 8:43 remaining in the second, the Jets on the power play. This 2-on-1 develops, and the Jets capitalize with a goal as Alex Iafallo feeds Cole Perfetti, and the Jets are up 2-1. The Jets would get another one in the second from Isaac Rosen, and the Hawks get 2 of their own to tie it at the end of regulation. Then 33 seconds into overtime, Kyle Connor takes a pass from Mark Scheifele. Connor buries this one, and the Jets win 4-3. Connor Hellebuck made 18 saves for the Winnipeg win. The Jets have won 4 of their last 5 games. Winnipeg visits the Dallas Stars Thursday night. Puck drop is at 7. Take a look at this gorgeous sky right now along Portage Avenue at Bulla Park. It's a beautiful start to your day. If you see any problems out in traffic or on your drive, please let us know when it's safe to do so.
The Dow Jones, along with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ futures, all up early Wednesday. U.S. oil prices falling. President Donald Trump continuing to say that the U.S. will end war operations in Iran soon, saying Tuesday night that he expects an exit in 2 or 3 weeks. Trump will address the nation on Wednesday night. Well, you may have to take out a mortgage if you want to see Canada play Bosnia-Herzegovina in the FIFA World Cup opener in Toronto on June 12th. The 69th ranked Bosnia and Herzegovina upset the 12th ranked Italy in 4-1 in penalties on home soil to advance. Now, there were approximately 388 tickets remaining for that June 12th game on Tuesday evening on StubHub Canada. The cheapest, just under $2,000, and the most expensive, $131,000. Apple is testing letting Siri process multiple requests in a single query in iOS 27. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman is reporting the feature would let users combine requests such as asking Siri to check the weather, create a calendar appointment, and send a message all within a single prompt, according to people familiar with the matter. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live at Cancer Care Manitoba this morning. Good morning, Ainsley.
Good morning. Rochelle, I'm smiling because I'm surrounded by such amazing people, but we're talking about some pretty serious stuff. Cancer with folks age 15 to 39, a group that's often overlooked, but at Cancer Care, they're providing wraparound supports to these individuals. One of them we're going to be chatting with today. Well, actually, we're chatting with 3 of them today, but at 6:42, Veronica is joining us, and she is going through her 12th round of chemo. And even just hearing about how long and rigorous this is, I can't even imagine the emotional toll that these folks take on every single day. 1 in 2 dealing with very severe depression or anxiety. But the supports are there. The peer supports are there. The meetups, a dietitian, if it's fertility specialists that they need to talk to. It's all here at Cancer Care. And if you want to donate, we'll have a link on our website.
Thank you, Ainsley. Let's go out to the rooftop now. How's it? Is it still sunny out there?
It's beautiful, okay, Rochelle. Good. Honestly, absolutely gorgeous. The sun only up for a few minutes time now, and still fairly clear skies that we'll be able to enjoy. I'm seeing blue sky and some oranges and pinks along the east horizon as the sun is coming up. -9, so yes, still a little bit cool, but we are already up a degree from our coldest temperature of -10 this morning, so we're going to call it a win. Every little thing counts. pardon me, a 7K wind out of the east-northeast, making it feel like minus 13 right now. Not bad. Pressure falling, humidity at 93%. I say not bad because I did overdress. Not overdress. I dressed appropriately with the big parka. I know it is April 1st and I've got the big parka on, but it's because I am properly dressed for these colder temperatures this morning that I'm out here saying, you know what, it is beautiful. If you're underdressed, you're like, no, not so much. I'm glad the sun is shining, but it's cold. So that's the difference. Throw those extra layers on and you'll be happy for it. We will see the clouds increasing and the sunshine disappearing as the day goes on, but we'll also likely crack the freezing mark today, a high of +1. Parts of northern Manitoba could do even better than that, so we're finally starting to see things warming up, even if it is still below seasonal.
Weather is brought to you by Blinds Are Beautiful. Our new Hunter Douglas showroom is at 900 Lorimer.
It's time now for our question of the day. Today is April Fool's Day. So we want to know, what is a prank that you love? Food pranks, family pranks, office pranks, whatever it is, let us know. You can text your answer to 10400. Make sure to follow the automated instructions so we can feature your response. And don't forget to include your name, please.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
At Your Morning Winnipeg, we're all about celebrating your amazing pets, furry, feathered, or scaly. Your Pet of the Week submissions are amazing, and we want to see more. Whether it's dogs, cats, birds, or any other pet pals, send them our way, please. Drop your pet photos and a fun little story about them to petoftheweek@ctv.ca, and then catch us every Thursday to find out if your pet is our Pet of the Week on Your Morning Winnipeg. We're going to take a break here. We'll be right back after this. Good morning. A Winnipeg criminal defense lawyer is accused of conspiring to smuggle cannabis into Headingley Correctional Centre. Mounties say the investigation began a year ago when correctional officers smelt marijuana at the facility and set out to find out how the substance got in. RCMP were able to identify a suspect and laid charges earlier this month. That person is also accused of conspiring to gain possession of a restricted firearm. RCMP say 43-year-old Chad Sutherland is charged with conspiracy to distribute cannabis, conspiracy to commit mischief, and conspiracy to possess a prohibited or restricted firearm. 2 other people were arrested as part of the investigation last year. None of the charges has been tested in court. And according to a decision by the Law Society of Manitoba, Sutherland was handed in an indefinite suspension from the profession and fined $6,000 in February for professional misconduct. He was accused of badgering a former client for money last June, saying he needed to be paid directly for past legal work on her case. Sutherland couldn't be reached for comment. Changes are coming to some Winnipeg transit routes. The spring schedule changeover starts Sunday, April 12th. It will see longer late-night hours on 10 routes across the city. 5 routes where ridership has been larger than expected will have more trips, while 2 others will see fewer runs due to lower ridership. You can find a full rundown of the route changes on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. A Manitoba photographer is helping seniors feel like kings and queens.
You're dressed up, you look like a goddess, you look like a queen, you look like royalty.
That's the goal of photographer Janessa Kohler's Goddess Project. Over 2 days in February, she photographed 32 residents at Bettle Home in Gimli. Each donned crowns, tiaras, jewels, and more. The seniors weren't able to look in a mirror until the camera started clicking, and the reaction was timeless.
For the most part, most of the expressions were flabbergasted, amazed, definitely in awe of themselves that they could even look like that. A lot of them didn't even recognize themselves.
Kohler says some of the seniors even took on the role playing to the camera, such as Anna, who turned 103 yesterday. Happy birthday, Anna. Kohler plans to present each king and queen with a framed portrait from the session at a special event in early April. She also hopes to host more photo shoots to bring seniors into focus in the future. Here's a look at the current traffic situation now at Main and Broadway. It looks like things are moving quite well starting off this Wednesday morning. If you see any problems out on the streets, send us a text and let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Curtis Carpets, Manitoba's flooring experts.
In entertainment, the musical spectacle Eurovision is holding its first Asian edition this year, and it will take place in Bangkok.
Thank you so much for making my dreams come true, and especially thank you to you, Europe, for making my dreams come true.
The main Gala, run by the European Broadcasting Union, draws more than 100 million viewers every year. The new event has already confirmed artists from at least 10 countries, including Thailand, South Korea, the Philippines, and Cambodia. More are expected to join before the finale in November. Get ready to laugh. Jay Farrow is bringing his concert series to Winnipeg.
When I was a kid, I wanted to be two people, Eddie Murphy and Will Smith. Now, Eddie Murphy. You know what I'm saying?
The SNL alum will be performing at Rumors Comedy Club this summer. He's known for his spot-on impressions of celebrities like Denzel Washington and Barack Obama. Farrow has also starred in Netflix's Resort to Love and ABC's Million Little Pieces. You have 3 chances to see the comedian. He'll be performing at Rumors July 23rd through the 25th. Tickets are on sale now at the venue's website. And say hello to the newest member of the DC superhero universe.
Crypto and I at least had each other. Honestly, I thought we were lucky. But luck, almost by definition, runs out.
The first full trailer was just released for Supergirl. In it, we see pieces of Supergirl's origins before she arrived on Earth and how she gets caught up in an interstellar journey for justice. Australian actress Millie Alcock stars as the titular character alongside Eve Ridley, Matthias Schoenaerts, Jason Momoa, and more. Supergirl is set to hit theaters June 26th. Your primetime lineup starts at 7 with the 2-hour season finale of The Masked Singer. Shark Tank comes next at 9 and catch Scrubs at 10. It's all right here tonight on CTV.
The CTV Primetime lineup is brought to you by the Children's Rehabilitation Foundation.
Terry, it's going to start off a little cool this morning.
You know, but I am in the best mood today. Smarch is behind us.
Finally.
Good riddance.
Yes.
It's
Long
April.
month.
And yes, it's a little bit cold this morning, but the conditions have been so spectacular. It's been beautiful and clear. I was raving about driving into work this morning, staring at the gorgeous moon, and now look at the sun rising off to the east right now. A beautiful start to your morning as we look through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Yes, that moon. If you missed it, there's a video on my Instagram, crisp, clear. It was clear this morning. Now there's a few wispy clouds out there, but this morning the edges of those moon just looked like they were just cut out. Oh, it was stunning. And even now with the few wispy clouds, it's stunning. We just looked out there and the sun rising over the city. How beautiful is that? How great are the temperatures? No, not ideal, but throw the extra layers on and then you'll be like, you know what? It's not so bad. Look it's the sun. It's shining. It's April. March is behind us. Anyway, so -9 is where we're sitting right now. Cooler temperatures in areas to the west of us. We're already below seasonal, -5 being a normal low, so you can see how much colder. About 10 degrees below seasonal. That's a lot. That's a lot. But the conditions, like I said, are pretty stellar overall if it weren't for these cold temperatures. Up into northern Manitoba, look how much warmer it is in Lynn Lake than the rest of the region. But much of northern Manitoba will be seeing those temperatures on the rise today and possibly cracking the freezing mark. We're likely to as well, though you wouldn't guess it by these wind chills this morning. Look at Churchill, still feeling like -27. So again, put those extra layers on and then you won't be complaining about how cold it feels. You'll just be like, oh, it's gorgeous. See, Terry was right. We'll see these clouds increasing. For now, it is still clear. The clouds will increase, but so too will the temperatures up to the freezing mark and 1 degree above. That's probably where we'll top out today when 6 degrees is normal. So plus digits look good, but 6 degrees is seasonal. We'll get closer to those numbers for the weekend. That doesn't look so good. I know. Next week could be cooling down again as that sunshine returns. Little Frank and Georgia waiting for the snow to melt their faces. They kill me. But this was taken in March because we're showing it today. So those are March faces if I ever saw them. Thanks to Shannon for sharing this with us. Keep the pictures coming, please, to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
April 1st, 1975. Canadian radio and television stations first started giving the temperature in Celsius. Most stations did not make the switch abruptly, but chose to educate the audience by presenting temperatures in both metric and Fahrenheit figures. April 1st, 2020. Federal Health Minister Patty Haydu said the federal government likely did not have enough protective equipment in its emergency stockpile to meet needs caused by the COVID-19 pandemic. She said governments around the globe had not been spending enough on public health preparedness. April 1st, 2024. Joe Flaherty, one of the stars of the Canadian sketch series SCTV, died at the age of 82. He starred alongside John Candy, Eugene Levy, and Catherine O'Hara in SCTV, playing characters that included network boss guy Carberero and the vampiric TV host Count Floyd. Some would argue Tom Selleck's sidekick in Magnum PI was just as famous, and now it's about to get a new owner. Back in the 1980s, this bright red Ferrari 308 GTS rose to fame, and now it could be yours. The classic car will be on the auction block later this month in Florida. The car will be hitting the block with no starting bid, so it's anyone's guess what it could go for. The auction will run from April 16th to the 18th. 25 years of nonsense. The Winnipeg Comedy Festival will be happening from April 20th to the 26th. And Your Morning Winnipeg is giving away a pair of tickets to watch all 5 mega shows at the Burton Cummings Theatre. It's your chance to laugh with Dave Murhaji, Sean Majumder, Chris Wilson, Jen Arden, and more. To enter, head to the contest page on our website, ctvwinnipeg.ca. Don't forget to enter the keywords jokes. Good luck. And it was all smiles and cheers in Gimli Tuesday afternoon as the community came out to celebrate a hometown hero.
Do I look okay? No, I don't like
Fans
that.
gathered at Gimli's Ford dealership to celebrate Carrie Anerson's success curling this season. She was joined by second Shannon Burchard as the pair signed autographs and posed for pictures.
They're darn good. They are very, very good.
We have 2 national treasures, Carrie Anerson and Crown Royal.
All small communities are like that. They all come together to support one another, and you know, there's quite a few good curlers that come out of Gimli, and you know, you got Colton, you got Kadrian a lot. Like, there's a few of us, and they support us throughout our journey, and it's been very, very special.
Anerson won silver at the World Women's Curling Championships earlier this month and notched her 5th national championship at the Scotties Tournament of Hearts in February. The team also finished 3rd at the Canadian Olympic Trials in February. Coming up, we are with the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation this morning, talking about young adult programs and what is available. Let's go back now to the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation. Good morning, Ainsley. You're going to introduce us to a patient.
Good morning. Yes, Veronica is 35, and she's just gone through her 12th round of chemo. Doesn't that just tear through your heart when you hear something like that? But she's strong as ever. Thank you so much for joining us this morning. Now, Veronica, you have a rare cancer, and tell us about your journey.
Well, thank you so much for having me, first of all. So I have what's called Ewing sarcoma. So sarcomas are a form of bone and soft tissue cancer. It was discovered last year at the end of May. Unfortunately, it took about a year of pushing for testing before they finally did the proper MRI and biopsy to discover it. So it had spread quite a bit by that point, which is quite common with sarcomas. So it's about a 1 in a million cancer. It's primarily found in children, but it took a lot of pushing and a lot of advocating in order to find it.
Wow. And through Cancer Care Manitoba, there's services for people within your age group. Tell us about which services that you have taken advantage of.
So they have quite a few different great things. They have groups that where you can connect with other people. I've accessed, they have dietitians that you can speak to as well. They have counseling. So those are just a few of the ones that I myself have accessed. But yeah, they have quite a few different resources.
And when it comes to navigating so many rounds of chemo, the emotional toll, I'm sure you're dealing with so much with family and all of this. I can't even begin. You have such a positive outlook, and you use a sense of humor through all of it. Why has that helped?
I was like that before, so nothing really changed as far as that goes. You have to make light of things, no matter how dark. And for myself, I'm a really big fan of dark humor, but like I said, before this, I was the same. I always have to make jokes. I just feel like it's survival. It's just something that you got to be able to see a light at the end of the tunnel or see the bright side of things.
Awesome. Thank you so much. You're such a bright light. I'm glad I got to meet you today.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Ainsley. Incredible story, indeed. Let's talk about the weather. It's going to be not so spring-like today.
Okay, it's not going to feel spring-like, but I've been saying it's one of the most beautiful looking mornings that we've experienced in a while, and that's because of the lack of clouds. It was clear this morning, and the moon was on display, and now the sun was shining, and, well, I did say the clouds would be building up, and it looks like that's what we're seeing out there. How quickly things can change. Anyway, -9, and those clouds will be continuously stacking up throughout the day today, but right now the winds are still fairly light, 7 clicks out of the east-northeast. The pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. So the morning hours today may have been the best hours as these clouds build up throughout the day today. We will be seeing that sunshine kind of disappearing behind it. But the temperatures will also be on the rise today, and it might be one of the warmer days that we've had in a while. Actually, it was beautiful over the weekend. Just rewind your head a little bit. Think back a few days ago. I know it was a cold start Monday, Tuesday, and now here Wednesday, the coldest morning yet. But it was just a few days back. We were like, what a beautiful weekend it was. We could hit those same kind of numbers because the weekend was beautiful, but it was still nowhere near seasonal, nor will today be. 1 degree is still well shy of the seasonal 6. Yes, that's normal for this time of year, and we're not even getting close to that. But this coming night closer to more seasonal numbers. I know this morning was well off the mark of that, but a normal low would be around -5. -4 is where we'll drop to overnight. We will have those heavier clouds hanging around in the overnight hours, but it's those clouds that provide that bit of a blanket of insulation, making sure that the temperature doesn't plummet the way it did this past night when it was clear. 1 degree again tomorrow, mostly cloudy. A few breaks perhaps to let some sunshine through, but overall clouds are what we'll be seeing over the next stretch of days right into the start of the weekend with perhaps some precipitation. But even with the lack of sunshine, we'll still get some nicer temperatures for the weekend. And then as it clears out, those temperatures will be dropping off, but rebounding again. It won't be long before we're at least back up above the freezing mark.
Thank you, Terry. A teacher in the Frontier School Division has been stripped of his certificates after admitting to giving a student cannabis last year. The details were published in a resolution agreement on the province's teaching registry. It says David Duke admitted to messaging an underage high school student sometime around late September and arranging a meeting with them where he provided a cannabis vape pen and alcohol. An investigation was launched a few months later, which resulted in Duke admitting to the facts of the case and agreeing it constituted professional misconduct. Duke received his teaching certificate in 1995 and was on a leave of absence at the time. Ukrainian refugees in Manitoba and across the rest of the country are getting a reprieve from the federal government. Ottawa has just announced it will give them more time to extend their work permits. The rules affect Ukrainian people who came here as part of the Canada-Ukraine Authorization for Emergency Travel Program. The temporary measure allows them to work in Canada while Russia's war against Ukraine continues. On Tuesday, Immigration Minister Lena Diab said they would give Ukrainians an extra year to apply to extend their work permits. They now have until March 31st, 2027 to apply to extend their work permits for up to 3 years. Since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, roughly 30,000 Ukrainians have made Manitoba their new home. Oil prices are down this morning, but gas prices show no signs of slowing down. The price per liter jumped to almost $1.82 in the Toronto area. In the Ottawa area, it's about the same. The average price across the country is $1.77 a liter. Oil prices have spiked since the start of the Middle East conflict. There's also the shift to the more expensive summer gasoline blend, which will happen mid-April. And the federal industrial carbon tax goes up today.
A carbon tax on refineries makes it more expensive to drive. A carbon tax on fertilizer plants make it more expensive to eat. And a carbon tax on electricity makes it more expensive to live.
The Nova Scotia Energy Board yesterday used the interrupter clause to bring the price of gas up by more than 7 cents a liter. A positive update from the family of a 12-year-old girl in BC who was seriously wounded in the deadly school shooting in Tumbler Ridge. Maya Gabella, who was shot in the head and neck, is out of the ICU. Her father's emotional social media post says that with help, the 12-year-old was able to sit up. He wrote, quote, "I'm finally able to wrap my arms around my daughter and hold her tight," adding, "We are getting there." 9 people, including the teenage shooter, were killed in the tragedy. A U.S. journalist has been kidnapped in Baghdad. According to reports, Shelley Kittleson was abducted last night. The Iraqi Interior Ministry says security forces chased the reporter's abductors and managed to arrest one suspect. A U.S. State Department official said the individual has ties to an Iranian-aligned militia group We're also learning that U.S. officials had contacted Kittleson a number of times to warn her threats against her. But a source says she thought it was false information. Efforts are now ongoing to track down the remaining suspects and secure her release. A judge has ordered the White House to pause construction on its new ballroom. This ruling blocks further construction and demolition until there is permission from Congress. The White House is spending $400 million U.S. to tear down its east wing to make way for this ballroom. Preservationists are suing to pause construction until the project goes through independent reviews. President Donald Trump has rejected the ruling, saying his administration will appeal. On the heels of its 50th anniversary, there is a new Apple museum in the Netherlands, opening the doors to technological history. This museum showcases the brands from early personal computers to modern smartphones. It even includes the company's beginnings in a garage where Steve Jobs worked on prototypes. It is Europe's largest Apple museum with more than 5,000 items. We have some road closures to remind you about this morning on Sherbrooke Street. One lane will be closed for sewer work from Portage to Ellis Avenue. Following the rush hours on Portage Avenue, the westbound curb lane will be closed from Gary to Smith, and the eastbound curb lane will be closed from Fort to Main Street. If you have any other traffic tips, please send us a text. Here's a look now at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.77. The provincial average is $1.69. In Winnipeg, the average is slightly higher at $1.71, and the lowest price in the city is $1.50. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
Here's a look outside now. It's clouding over a little bit, and we're sitting at -9. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be back after this.
Beautiful out there this morning. I mean, okay, it's chilly out there this morning, well below seasonal temperatures, but that sky is pretty stunning. -9 feels like -13 once you're factoring in that breeze, but it's light right now. Keep in mind it will be getting stronger. Pressure is falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. So the fairly clear conditions this morning, that's what I'm talking about. Stunning, it's been looking good. The moon was looking all clear and crisp this morning. Then the sun was shining. If you go to my Instagram, if you missed seeing the moon this morning, go to my Instagram and you'll see it there. It was a gorgeous morning. Not that it's not gorgeous, it's just cold and below seasonal. And our temperatures today, even though we'll make some gains, will probably stay a little bit below seasonal, except for parts of northern Manitoba. Look at these numbers, plus digits through much of northern Manitoba. I mean, obviously Churchill is an exception to that, but Churchill, that's still an improvement over where you've been. And again, a little bit of sunshine, whereas other places might be seeing some heavier clouds, maybe even a few scattered flakes of snow. But +2 right up into the far northwest. That's okay as far as temperatures go, and compared especially to where we've been. Now, southern Manitoba won't be seeing gains anywhere near as impressive as that. Maybe getting to the freezing mark or barely above, when actually 6 degrees, that would be a normal daytime high. So nobody is getting to the seasonal temperatures. And in fact, right along this most southern border, you may even see a few scattered flakes of snow. But again, plus digits compared to the last couple of days when it's been like snowy and blowy and all of that. We're not going to be seeing much in the way of precipitation, but the sunshine will also be disappearing as the clouds build up through the day today. And heavier clouds will likely linger for the rest of the week, but staying above the freezing mark, barely, but we'll take it. Then getting closer to those more seasonal numbers as we're looking ahead to the weekend. Not for long, though. You can see as it clears out Monday, temperature will plummet for a day before it slowly begins to budge again back up above the freezing mark by Tuesday.
Thank you, Terry. Let's go back now to Ainsley, who's live at the Cancer Care Manitoba Foundation. Hello, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning. Imagine being 36 years old and diagnosed with stage 3 melanoma. I can't. I truly can't. But that was Kelsey's reality back in October. Good morning. Thank you for being here. We're at Cancer Care. Explain your journey for our audience.
Well, it's been a bit of a condensed, quick whirlwind. I got my diagnosis of unknown primary stage 3 melanoma in October. I got connected with Cancer Care in November and some of the extra services that the AYA team got me connected to. Began my treatment in December and had surgery in January.
What was, it sounds like a silly question, but I want to hear it from your perspective. What was going through your mind during that time?
A lot of things. Disbelief, shock, you just don't expect to be told that when you're 36, and then really, like, you just gotta find a way to move forward, essentially, really. Yeah.
You have such a warm presence and just a good vibe about you. When you've come to cancer care, what are some of the services that you have taken part in?
The AYA team got me connected to Heartland, so I was able to connect with them before for like family planning for after cancer and moving forward. I do the counseling. There's a lot of groups counseling. There's we do fun events every month. They recently got me connected to physio, so they offer a lot of things and they really make a difference.
And what about now? Because when we talk about cancer, we talk about the diagnosis, we talk about the treatment, but post, there's so much that goes into it, I'm sure psychologically too. How are you feeling?
It's a bit of a mixed bag, right? Like, you're kind of in limbo after surgery. You're just kind of waiting for next steps, like doing the additional treatment moving forward. And then just kind of taking it day by day, really. Like, you just kind of gotta keep going.
Like, that's all you can do, right? Like, what are you supposed to say? Thank you so much. I really appreciate this. Cancer Care is doing such amazing things. Head to a link on our website for more details if you want to donate.
Thank you, Ainsley. Canadians send over 1 million e-transfers a day, and the vast majority get where they're supposed to go without any issues. But what happens if you send the money to the wrong account? CTV's Pat Foran with more.
I thought, oh my God, what have I done?
Tony DeSimone of Toronto says the very first time he sent an e-transfer, he had a problem.
I'm blind in my right eye, so sometimes I have difficulties doing emails or texts and things like that.
He owed his sister $1,600, so she told him to e-transfer her the money at Christmas time, and she gave him her email address.
I kept telling my sister that I sent it, and normally she gets an email saying, that there's a deposit in her account from an e-transfer.
When the money never arrived, he took another look at the email he used and realized he forgot 2 numbers, and he sent it to the wrong email address. His credit union said the person had auto deposit and the money went straight into their account.
You sent it to the wrong person, and now it's been deposited, and we can't get it back.
The Windsor Family Credit Union said once an e-transfer with auto deposit has been successfully deposited, it cannot be reversed without the consent of the recipient. When DeSimone reached out to the person and explained the mistake, they were concerned it was a scam and refused to send the money back. To avoid e-transfer trouble, treat e-transfers like cash. Make sure the person you're sending it to is trusted. Double-check details before sending, and if the person has auto deposit, a pop-up will validate it's the right person. DeSimone says losing $1,600 has affected his finances.
I feel really bad, and I want to get my money back if it's possible.
When CTV News reached out to the person who mistakenly received the funds, they said they'd been scammed before, but now realized it was a mistake. So the person sent DeSimone back his $1,600, which was great news for him.
I'm so happy, that I watched your show. Thank you, CTV. I'm glad I got my money back thanks to you, and it wouldn't have happened without you guys.
Pat Foran, CTV News.
Let's see who's celebrating a milestone today. Happy 22nd birthday, Anna, with love from your family. Happy birthday to bestie Denise, love from Tina and Les. Happy birthday, Dauda, from your wife Margaret, your children, and the Kamara family of Winnipeg. Happy birthday, Mark, with lots of love from Nicole, Scarlett, and Rowan, and your family and friends. And a happy 8th birthday to Braden, with love from Dad, Mom, Hannah, and Maple. To submit your milestone, visit our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and fill out the form at least 2 days in advance. It'll also enter you into our monthly contest for a chance to win a $100 gift certificate to Party Stuff.
Milestones is brought to you by Party Stuff, Winnipeg's balloon headquarters with 3 locations.
Weather is brought to you by ABC Fire and Safety, your CO2 refill store.
All right, 1 degree is where we're headed today for a high temperature. That's not bad. I mean, getting above the freezing mark, we'll take it. But normal highs this time of year, that would put us around 6. We got closer to it last year, up to 4 degrees. Look at 1928, 19.4 degrees. Oh my goodness, you can just bet the patios would have been packed on a day like that. They're certainly not going to be packed today. They're still packed with snow, in fact. We're waiting for all of the latest round of snow to melt. And in fact, we could still see some flurries in the days ahead. But let's not talk about that right now. Back to today, where we will begin to see some improvements. Already have seen some with the return of the sunshine this morning. Those clear conditions overnight, though, caused those temperatures to drop off, which is why we're waking up so far below seasonal this morning. -9 at the moment, feels like -13. Winds, though, they're light, 7 clicks out of the east-northeast. Pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 93%. So -5, that would be a normal low temperature. We had dropped as low as -10, well off of that. And parts of southwestern Manitoba are in the mid-minus teens, 10 degrees below seasonal. But we will start to see some improvements, at least getting to the freezing mark or above through most of the province today. So we'll say that's a bit of a win for us. And temperatures should be pushing into the plus digits for the next stretch of days. For the weekend, even getting close to seasonal, a fistful of degrees above the freezing mark.
Today marks the start of Sikh Heritage Month in Manitoba. The event starts off with a special Sikh prayer called Artemis. Joining us now to tell us more are Prabnur Singh and Parminder Singh Gill from Sikh Heritage Month. Good morning to both of you.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us. Tell us a little bit about the significance of Sikh Heritage Month. Why is it important to reflect during this time?
Definitely. It's a time to celebrate the Sikh contributions that have taken place in Manitoba. I'll let Parminder speak a bit to that as well.
Yeah, so I was there right from 2019 when we first, as an operating committee of Sikh Heritage Manitoba, decided we wanted to make April the month where we celebrate Sikh Manitobans. So I'm really proud to share that we're in our 8th year, and we always inaugurate the month by starting with an Ardas, as you mentioned, which is a prayer for the well-being of all. But it's a youth-led grassroots non-for-profit that does this organizing, and April 1st we do the Ardas, and part of that Ardas, what I'm proud of, is we're also pushing the envelope to ensure that we're being bilingual. We incorporate things like the land acknowledgement in both Punjabi and English, because we also want to make sure there's an educational awareness, not just about Sikh Manitobans, but the responsibility we all have in advancing human rights.
That's amazing. And you've come a long way in those 8 years, I'm sure. And just to raise awareness about the community here in Manitoba, take us back in history and the impact the Sikh community has had here in Manitoba.
Definitely. Not many people, including myself, actually just found out that Sikhs have been living in Manitoba since the 1990s.
Wow.
So 1919 was the year that a soldier enlisted in the Canadian Armed Forces for the World War by the name of John Babu Singh, and he actually lived on Henry Avenue, which is not that far from here, and was married to a woman of Irish descent, and proudly called Manitoba his home. So Sikhs have had a long history in Manitoba, over 100 years.
And the community is quite large and quite active as well. Tell us a little bit about its impact in just the greater community and how it makes changes here.
Absolutely. So, as Prabnur mentioned, the history is over 100 years old, and there's been a long tradition of being involved in the military, but beyond that, you'll see us in all facets of life. So Sikh Heritage Month is really about exploring that multifaceted experience of those that identify themselves as Sikhs and what they do to enrich our society. You'll see your doctor, you'll see your Uber driver, you'll see your lawyer. There's a whole range. And what we're trying to do is we're trying to educate, we're trying to build awareness, we're trying to celebrate excellence.
Okay, let's talk about some of the events that are planned over the next month. How are you kicking off this Heritage Month?
Definitely. So every year we begin with our ceremonial prayer, which is the Ardas, taking place at the Manitoba Legislature. We have elected officials joining us, as well as members of the community. And this is once again for the prosperity, well-being, and Chardi Kala, which means remaining in rising spirit for the province of Manitoba and its residents. This year we're also bringing in an exhibition for the first time from the Sikh Heritage Museum of Canada, which is called A Sikh Century of Service. So it talks about Sikh soldiers that have served in the armed forces over the last 100 years. And it's the first time something like that is actually coming to Winnipeg, and that's taking place on April 25th.
And where can people check that out?
Our social media at Sikh Heritage Manitoba for Instagram, as well as our website. At our website, there's a list of all the events that are taking place in Manitoba related to Sikh Heritage Manitoba.
And everyone is welcome to attend, right? You want to get the rest of the community to join in and raise awareness about your impact here, right?
Absolutely. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to facilitate dialogue, education, awareness, celebration. So April 25th at the Judy Silver Commons, which is in the Maples, is where we're going to be hosting that exhibit, and all are welcome.
And the food, the dance, the music, the celebrations, I'm sure it's just wonderful.
Of course.
Definitely.
What was your favorite part about it?
Are we talking paneer pakoras or samosas?
I'm there for all the food.
Oh,
so.
It sounds lovely. Okay, and everyone is welcome to attend for that as well and taste some of your goodies. All right. Well, thank you, gentlemen, for sharing this with us. And if you do want more information, we have a link on our website.
Hello there, Kara Wagland in the Sports Center newsroom with your must-see moment from Tuesday. In Fort, we head to Motown, where the Raptors were in town to take on the Pistons. Colin Murray Boyles takes the feed from Jamal Shedd before throwing down a massive one-hander. The Pistons guard, Kevin Huerter, comes over to help on the blown coverage, gets put on a poster for his efforts. At least he tried. It is your must-see moment from Tuesday. And coming up today on TSN, we have World Men's Curling Championships. Canada taking on Switzerland. Coverage for that one gets underway at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. That's all for now from SportsCenter. Have a great day.
The TSN must-see moment is brought to you by Super Blinds and Draperies, featuring Hunter Douglas products.
Here's a look at how things are moving along Kennison and Sterling Lion Way. It looks like things are moving well to start off. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back after this. It's Wednesday, April the 1st. More taxes on the tipple. Local reaction pours out as Ottawa's April 1st increase on alcohol takes effect, but the feds do extend a small silver lining. Done with door-to-door, why Canada Post is preparing to transition all its customers to community boxes and closing some post offices. And getting a pizza from a vending machine is totally cool in itself, and that's inspired customers on one Ontario campus to sing and dance for their supper. Your Morning Winnipeg starts right now. Good morning, Manitoba. It's 8 o'clock on April Fool's Day. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Your Morning Live. We have a TEDx event coming up at the end of May. And so we've been bringing in a bunch of speakers to talk about some of the issues they're tackling. Well, we're going to talk about one issue that has to do with social media and your digital platform. What happens when you pass away to your Facebook account, to your Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is? What happens to that information? And what can you do to prepare yourself so that you could either make sure your family has access to it when you're passed on, or you could put some sort of parameters in place to be prepared for that if it comes. We're also going to talk about some really great spring wines for Easter as well as for the season. So let's talk about the weather. It's not going to feel like spring today.
Well, but I'm excited anyway because we're getting closer to those more spring-like temperatures, at least cracking the freezing mark, or hopefully cracking the freezing mark later today. Yes, today is one of the coldest mornings that we've felt in a while. It's -9 right now, feels like -13 with a 7K wind out of the east-northeast, the pressure falling, and the humidity sitting at 93%. It was stunningly clear, though. First thing this morning, the moon on display, then the sun as it was rising over the city, looking so gorgeous. Now we've got these clouds. They're starting to build up. They'll continue to stack up over the course of the day. The Futurecast, you'll get an idea of how cloudy it could become. Some parts will see a little more sunshine. Other places might even see some scattered snow. But actually, northern Manitoba could be in for more of a warm-up than southern Manitoba today, into the plus digits, speaking of. Now, there is still the possibility that some flurries will be making an appearance over the next few days as we're moving on into the start of April, and especially right along this most southern border. And this is looking into Thursday evening and into Friday. So that possibility that some places through that very southeastern corner could see some snow, or here in Winnipeg by the weekend, the possibility is there, likely in the early morning hours. But it's also likely to get a little bit warmer for the weekend, although even a little bit better for today. Speaking of plus digits, yes, not by much. 6 degrees is normal, but anything above the freezing mark looks good. Monday, a little bit of a slip, but we'll be back up above freezing by Tuesday. A little wiener roast is what you're seeing depicted there in the bottom right-hand corner of Ashton's artwork. Thank you, Ashton. Love what you've done here, and keep that art coming, please. You now submit it through our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca, and your submission not only has the chance to be aired here on TV, but it will also get you entered for a draw for a $100 gift card from Crockadoodle on Kenaston.
The weather art of the day is brought to you by Crockadoodle Paint Your Own Pottery. Make memories that last forever.
Beer, wine, and spirits will cost you more today. Every year, the federal government raises the price of booze with a tax increase tied to inflation. It's all part of an annual escalator tax introduced in 2017 by the federal government. The taxes are supposed to automatically rise annually on April the 1st and does not require parliamentary approval. The Liberal government has capped the hikes at 2% since 2023, and this year was supposed to be the final year for the cap. But with inflation affecting Canadians in all facets of life, including at the pump and in grocery stores, some Manitobans are wondering whether it's the wrong time to raise taxes.
Monumental. It just continues to increase the cost of doing business and the cost that we have to pass on to the consumer, especially from a beverage standpoint of view, but also continues to drive away consumers from consuming alcohol just due to the cost alone. It's staying with trends that we see across Canada as cold coffee being the largest consumed beverage of younger Canadians and Manitobans. So unfortunately, it continues to kind of put pressure on an industry that's pretty significantly pressured for inflation and viability for the future.
The Taxpayers Federation is echoing those calls you just heard from Sean Jeffrey, calling on the government to scrap the tax altogether. Meanwhile, Ottawa announced it's extending the 2% cap on the annual alcohol tax for another 2 years through to 2028. The end of door-to-door mail delivery could be en route. Canada Post is moving ahead with the restructuring plan ordered by the federal government. The Crown Corporation says it's transforming its business model to continue meeting the needs of Canadians without becoming a burden on taxpayers. In September, the federal government directed Canada Post to make several changes to ensure its survival, including converting of all remaining door-to-door delivery to community mailboxes. Canada now has a 30-day refund policy for passports. The federal government will refund passport fees to anyone whose processing time for their travel document exceeds 30 business days. The clock will start when a complete application is received and end when the passport is printed and verified. Mailing time is not included. Meanwhile, Canadians will now pay more. The fees for passport applications increased this week. The cost of a 5-year regular adult passport rose to $122.50. A 10-year regular adult passport is now $163.50. And a 5-year regular child passport now costs $58.50. A pizza machine in Guelph, Ontario is getting a lot of attention.
Just this weekend, we had a band here that showed up and played a cover of Wonderwall.
Today's
After 4 years on the University of Guelph campus, this pizza vending machine has become a crowd favorite, and it started documenting who is stopping by using a doorbell camera. The owners say in the 3 minutes it takes for the machine to deliver the pizza, people have gotten quite creative in the videos. There's also an incentive. The best video from each week is entered into a contest to win a free pizza. That's cool. Here's a look at what's happening now on the St. James Bridge. Things are still quite late at this point. All the kids are off school, of course, and so things have been moving quite well in this part of the city. If you see any issues out there, though, please let us know.
Traffic is brought to you by Mr. Lube Plus Tires. No appointment needed.
Let's go back now to Ainsley McPhail, who's live with Cancer Care Manitoba this morning. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, good morning, Manitoba. Good morning, Rochelle. Our next guest, her name is Taylor. She's dealing with stage 4 lung cancer. Every single guest that we've had, my heart is just shattered this morning, but everyone has been so lovely and so positive. Taylor, thank you so much for being on our show today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So as a young person, when you're not feeling so well and you go to the doctor, you don't expect it to be lung cancer. Tell us about your story.
Yeah, no, it was definitely a shock, but yeah, it started last spring when I was experiencing some chest pain. the chest pain was gradually getting worse, so I went into Emerge. And from Emerge, we did scans and some tests, and originally I was told I actually had tuberculosis. So was, on medication and antibiotics for tuberculosis for a few weeks, and was also doing biopsies and kind of scans at the same time. And after a few weeks, unfortunately, I was told that it wasn't TB, and I actually had stage 4 lung cancer. So from there, we did radiation. The cancer had spread to my bones and my brain, so we did radiation on my brain and started chemo kind of in the next couple months after that as well. And I've been doing IV chemo and oral chemo since then.
It's hard to condense that journey into one question, so I totally understand. But if you have any message leaving this, whether it be about cancer care, whether it be about what you've been through, I'll just give you the microphone.
Yeah, so the AYA program has been amazing, so supportive. They've helped, from day one till now, just setting me up with individual therapists, different support groups, especially for me with lung cancer. It was really hard to connect with anyone else my age, going through that same diagnosis. So it's nice to have a group that is in that same age demographic and going through those same things. But yeah, I would just say taking things day by day and living your best life, and
Sometimes there's no words, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. Coming up at 8:38, we're chatting with the foundation.
Thank you, Ainsley. A citizen-led push for Alberta independence says it has reached the signatures needed to trigger a referendum. If verified, the question could go to voters in the fall. Here's CTV's Kathy Lee.
For months, Albertans have been lining up to sign a citizen-led petition in support of the province leaving Canada. Now, the lead organizer says the required threshold of just under 178,000 signatures has been reached a month before deadline.
I'm very proud of my people, and that worked so hard in the dead of a cold winter to collect this many signatures.
Elections Alberta still needs to verify each signature. If the count holds, the question of Alberta becoming an independent country could go to a referendum in October.
If they get the requisite number of signatures verified, it'll be on the ballot. I'm watching with great interest. There's 2 citizens initiatives that are happening right now.
The other initiative is Forever Canadian, led by former Deputy Premier Thomas Lukazik. He says volunteers collected just under 500,000 signatures last year in support of staying in Canada, but does not want the issue decided by a referendum.
Let's resolve the issue of separatism on the floor of the legislature. That's what the legislature is for.
Several polls show about a third of Albertans support separation, the issue continuing to divide the province. A political scientist says the uncertainty could also hurt investment.
It's going to chase away investment, and it's going to damage the economic stability of the province.
But supporters of separation argue Alberta is already at a disadvantage.
Albertans have been trying to get a better deal with Ottawa for 100 years.
The petition remains open until May 2nd. Kathy Lee, CTV News, Calgary.
We're looking now through the CTV Live Eye, brought to you by Bathfitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. Still seeing some blue sky out there this morning. That's very nice to see. Temperature-wise, though, I was pretty excited to see this. Just in the last hour, we've jumped up a couple degrees, now sitting at -7 here in Winnipeg. Not everybody's so lucky. We've had those clouds building up. It's a little bit clearer in some places, and clearer means colder, so you are seeing these temperatures, though they have improved a little bit. I think Brandon was at -15 last hour and now has bumped up to -13. So a couple degree gains. Then you're going to see these temperatures through northern Manitoba, which seems still on the cooler side for many places, up into the high -teens for some. And then there's Lynn Lake, -9, one of the warmer spots this morning. And in fact, temperatures throughout the afternoon today across parts of northern Manitoba could end up surpassing where we're headed here in southern Manitoba. It will be a below seasonal day for us in the south once again, but a little bit better than it's been. So we are starting to see those improvements, not just for this morning and the temperatures that we're already starting to gain now, but overall collectively over the last couple of days. Still feels like -27 though up in the Churchill area. Fairly clear conditions, but you will see a few of those clouds building up. We too are watching these clouds building here through southern Manitoba, and as a result the sunshine disappearing throughout the day today. Temperatures already above what I was expecting through the 8 o'clock hour and getting up to about +1 for later on today. And I've been saying that's a huge win for us to be cracking the freezing mark, but in fact 6 degrees would be a normal daytime high. So we're not going to get the seasonal values and that sunshine disappearing behind the clouds, which will then stick around through the rest of the week, but those temperatures still keep rising. The weekend will be feeling better. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
The Dow Jones, along with the S&P 500 and NASDAQ futures, all up early Wednesday. U.S. oil prices falling. President Donald Trump continuing to say that the U.S. will end war operations in Iran soon, saying Tuesday night that he expects an exit in 2 or 3 weeks. Trump will address the nation on Wednesday night. Well, you may have to take out a mortgage if you want to see Canada play Bosnia-Herzegovina in the FIFA World Cup opener in Toronto on June 12th. The 69th ranked Bosnia and Herzegovina upset the 12th ranked Italy in 4-1 in penalties on home soil to advance. Now, there were approximately 388 tickets remaining for that June 12th game on Tuesday evening on StubHub Canada. The cheapest, just under $2,000, and the most expensive, $131,000. Apple is testing letting Siri process multiple requests in a single query in iOS 27. Bloomberg's Mark Gurman is reporting the feature would let users combine requests such as asking Siri to check the weather, create a calendar appointment, and send a message, all within a single prompt, according to people familiar with the matter. Those are your morning business headlines. For B&M Bloomberg, I'm Roger Peterson.
From family photos on Facebook to posts on Instagram or TikTok, social media platforms are fully integrated in our lives. Many of us enjoy using our digital accounts and sharing our memories with the world. But what happens to your photos and your digital footprint after you die? That's the topic of a TEDx Winnipeg chat happening in Winnipeg at the end of May. It's called Take Control of Your Digital Legacy Now. Joining us now with more on this TED Talk is U of M Professor of Computer Science, Céline Latulippe. Good morning, Céline.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, when I think about digital imprint, I'm on Facebook. I've been on Facebook forever. There's Instagram, there's TikTok. There's so many digital platforms, social media platforms that people are on. And are you seeing most people have 1 or 2 accounts in today's age?
I think for social media, yeah, most people have a couple of accounts, maybe many accounts, but it's beyond social media. There's other types of accounts too that can also become an issue that people need to think about for after they pass away, and how can people get access to their assets, and also how can people protect their privacy.
Right. Okay, so before we get to the privacy element, let's talk about those like Facebook, Instagram.
Sure.
I've seen often when someone I know has passed on, there's either a rest in peace change to their account, yes, or there sometimes are like birthday reminders.
Right, yeah, and you can also sometimes get somebody you know has passed away and you get a friend suggestion for that person, which is
weird.
It's very, yeah, it's very strange. So with those types of platforms, Meta, who own Facebook and Instagram, you can set up a legacy contact, and then when you die, that legacy contact can reach out and say, this person has died, and then they can set your profile to be in memoriam. And once you're in memoriam, you won't be suggested as a friend connection to people, right?
Okay.
So that's a good thing to do, but it's not going to happen automatically. You do have to have set up that legacy contact,
okay,
right? And so you have to sort of plan ahead for that. And the same with all of your other types of accounts. So if you want somebody to be able to access your email after you die, but not now, you need to again set up a legacy contact, whether that's through Google or whoever you have your email account with.
Okay,
yeah.
That's interesting. But you also need to consider some of the information out there that you put out that you don't want your family members to know about.
Right.
Your shopping habits.
Yeah, so lots of us have some secrets, some things online that we've done that we may not want our close family members to know about or see, and that's becoming really tricky because you want to enable them to get access to your email because that helps them be able to close down all the other accounts and so on. But you also have to think about, well, if they get access to my email, what are they going to find out about me? If they get access to my shopping account on Amazon, or maybe I'm in an online group because I'm sexually closeted, for example, and my close family members don't know that. They can suddenly get online and find out all of these secrets that maybe, would change the way they think about you, which is, that's not really maybe what you want. So if you have that type of thing going on, you really need to think carefully about how can you sort of separate accounts and assets, and maybe find ways for people that you do trust in those communities to be able to shut down your accounts.
Wow. So
it is important to shut down your accounts, because if you don't, they can become a target for hackers.
Okay, so make sure to put all these plans in place.
Yes. Talk to your friends and family ahead of time. It's really important that you do that. And yeah, password managers are my big thing. That's the best way to set it up, because you can set up a legacy contact.
Okay.
And then when you die, that person can get access to that, and then they can manage things.
All right, these are all great topics, and of course we've just sort of grazed the surface of this issue. So if you want to check it out for yourself, TEDx Winnipeg is happening on May 28th at the University of Winnipeg. For more information, we have a link on our website. Thanks, Celine.
Thank you.
All right, it's a beautiful start to your morning, but I'm saying that wearing my parka. I chose the heavier coat today just because of how cool it was. We dropped well below seasonal. We are still technically below seasonal lows. Normal would be about -5, and we got as cold as -10 last night, with wind chill values making it even colder than that. So here we are now, having made some gains, sitting at -7, feeling like -11 with that bit of a breeze. And it is just a bit of a breeze right now, an AK wind out of the east. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 93%. It was clear first thing this morning, though, and that's also why those temperatures dropped off. That tends to happen as the clouds clear. They're always acting as that bit of a layer of insulation. So with them gone overnight, temperatures plummeted. But we also got to enjoy a full moon this morning and some sunshine first thing. That's already beginning to disappear. These clouds will continue to stack up throughout the day today. Temperatures, though, still will climb, maybe even cracking the freezing mark, which will be a little bit of an improvement over the past few days, but still nowhere near seasonal. +6, that would be normal for this time of year. The rest of the week, we will see some heavier clouds. Temperatures just barely above the freezing mark, but it gets a little bit better for this coming weekend. That's Georgia with the long face, probably because of all of that snow sitting around her still. I love this photo. Thank you so much, Shannon, for sharing this with us. Even Frank's face, look at that. Unimpressed. Anyway, keep the photos coming to Winnipeg Weather at ctv.ca.
Weather is brought to you by Canadian Footwear, helping you find the perfect fit.
April is Autism Awareness Month, a chance to break the stigma around autism as well as celebrate those living with it. And joining us now with more is Dimitra Hadjidiakos, the president of Autism Manitoba and the executive director of the Autism Learning Center in Winnipeg. Good morning, Dimitra.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me today.
We have our little fidget balls here.
Been having fun here.
They're really squishy and fun. Tell us a little bit about why it's important to raise awareness about autism this month and throughout the year, really.
Yeah, so April's just a fantastic time to just remind everyone that we have friends, neighbors, family members who are on the autism spectrum. It is such a big spectrum, so lots of times we hear people talking about little kids with autism, but children with autism grow up to be adults with autism. So it really is, we have people living with autism all around us, and it's really a great time to educate the public what we can do to be more accepting and to be helpful, really, when we see somebody with autism who needs a little bit of extra support.
Okay, you have a personal connection to autism yourself. Your son was born with autism?
Yes, he was.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, so my son Peter was diagnosed when he was a preschooler. I'm going to say 3.5, somewhere around there, and he did the program at St. Amant, the Applied Behavior Analysis program. He did really well. He went through school. He's actually at Red River College right now studying business administration. So it's been quite the journey, and he's just living his best life on the spectrum.
That's wonderful. But when you first found out, it wasn't happy news. It was something very different back then.
Yeah.
Your work today is to change that stigma.
Yes.
How have we come? Like, are we going in the right direction?
We are. We're going in a really great direction. And I do have to say social media has played a big part in that. We have a lot of our kids who are on social media, and just the awareness in terms of there are supports in place where people can access those supports, and our kids are going to do whatever it is that they want to do in life in terms of their gifts and their interests and their strengths.
Okay, so you have some social media events happening throughout the month to raise awareness. Tell us about that.
Yes, so we have a post every day this month that we are hoping is going to teach the public something that they didn't already know about autism.
Okay, so what do you want parents to know? If they've just had a child newly diagnosed, what do you want them to think about?
Okay, so phone Autism Manitoba. Okay, if you are living in Manitoba, phone us, contact us through our website. We are there to walk you through. There are supports in place through the province. Sometimes wait lists are very long, so we do have information in terms of things that we can do while we are waiting to access public services. Yes.
And mom and dad is going to be okay?
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are. And we have a support group that we run at Autism Manitoba. We run it the first Thursday of every month. So 7 to 9, and we have parents come from all over the city, and with children who are young or adult children, and it's a really great place to connect with other parents.
Okay, and if you want more information, we have a link on our website. Here's a look outside now at the St. James Bridge. It looks like things are moving well over here. We're going to take a break. We'll be right back. Thanks.
All right, this morning was stunning an hour ago. Not that it's not beautiful now, don't get me wrong, but the heavier clouds have started to move in when it was clear and the full moon looked so beautiful and crisp, and then the sun was rising over the city and we saw how beautiful and bright it was, and now it is looking a little bit cloudier, but still the temperatures are on the rise, so that's where the improvement comes. Now sitting at -7 with a bit of a breeze out of the east, but it's fairly light still at 8 clicks. The pressure is falling, the humidity sitting at 93%, and those clouds will continue to build up throughout the day today, so even cloudier is what you can expect out of the conditions this afternoon, but warmer, so we'll take that as a little bit of a win. In fact, parts of northern Manitoba could warm beyond where we're headed here in the south, which will at least be above the freezing mark, but still nowhere near seasonal. So a normal daytime high would be about +6. +1 instead. We'll take it. Like I said, every little bit counts because the last couple of days we haven't even been able to crack the freezing mark. So this is an improvement. Now, with those clear conditions this past night, the temperatures plummeted. But with the extra clouds that are hanging around for this coming night, we're actually going to see the temperatures stabilizing closer to what is normal for this time of year, down to -4. -5 being that seasonal low, and tomorrow heavier clouds to linger, +1 expected. Now we're likely to see the heavier clouds through the rest of this week and into the weekend, but the weekend will still be warming up. However, we could start to see a little bit of precipitation Saturday early in the morning. The possibility is there. It will get a little bit clearer, but as it does, it'll get cooler. Only for a day. We'll be back up above the freezing mark by about Tuesday of next week.
Changes are coming to some Winnipeg transit routes. The spring schedule changeover starts Sunday, April 12th. It will see longer late night hours on 10 routes across the city. 5 routes where ridership has been larger than expected will have more trips, while 2 others will see fewer runs due to lower ridership. You can find a full rundown of the route changes on our website, ctvnewswinnipeg.ca. It's still all systems go for the Artemis 2 launch, which could happen today.
People are excited and ready to go on this first chapter on our way back to the moon since the 1970s. So we're very excited.
The earliest the launch can happen is at 6:24 p.m. Eastern. 4 astronauts, including Canadian Jeremy Hansen, are in quarantine ahead of the launch. The mission will take the crew around the moon in NASA's first lunar mission in more than 50 years. Before blastoff can happen, there will be final tests and checks on the Orion spacecraft. The weather will also need to cooperate. Today's launch window lasts for 2 hours with an 80% chance of favorable weather. If the launch doesn't happen today, other windows will open through to April 6th. The federal government's Buy Canadian policy has been flagged in a U.S. government report as a significant barrier to American exports. The Buy Canadian procurement policy was put in place to ensure Canadian bids are prioritized in government contracts worth $25 million or more. The new report by the Office of the United States Trade Representative also identified several other so-called trade irritants between Canada and the U.S. They include provincial liquor board rules that control imports of American beverages and high tariffs on American dairy products. Shoppers preparing for Easter may be feeling some sticker shock at the supermarket this year. As CTV's Tyler Fleming shows you, prices for popular dinner items and treats are climbing.
Is it more expensive? I'm not sure. Oh, yeah.
This holiday ham from Costco, nearly $9 a kilo. A good deal for Eric Shear.
I'm going to say last time I bought this, it was probably 30-ish.
Compared to last year, up about 10%, in line with overall rising food prices.
Refrigerator.
To help offset the cost, this family is going with a potluck.
I'm responsible for the ham, so this is like my only responsibility, so it's not that bad even if it goes up a little bit.
New consumer data shows year-over-year meat prices, especially beef and chicken, are climbing fast.
The prices of oil in particular have surged, and that increases the cost in every step of production.
At Pete and Gus Meat Market, Case DeCarlo says while some shoppers are switching to other cuts,
this year I'm seeing people getting a lot more pork, a lot of hams, crown roasts, and the like.
His business is holding strong.
I'm actually picking up Pete and Gus's famous breakfast sausages for 2 of my other kids and delivering them. They've always liked these breakfast sausages, so that's going to be part of their breakfast for Easter. You come to a place like this, you know you're getting good quality food.
This guy is just an adorable little treat to put in your Easter basket.
It is not just dinner. Chocolate prices have soared amid supply chain shortages.
I'm also seeing more filler ingredients go into the products, palm oil, just more sugar and less cocoa.
But that's not the case at White Pine Chocolates.
I've decided to stick with small Easter gifts this year.
Where owner Wendy Peterson says the value is in the bite.
And you know that there's a lot of love put into it, both from the farm all the way to the chocolatier. I think that's special, and that makes a little luxury indulgence worthwhile.
Some families may even push back this year's egg hunt.
It's supposed to rain a lot on the weekend, so we figure we're going to do it the next weekend, maybe get some discount Easter chocolate.
Tyler Fleming, CTV News.
Here's a look at the drive now along the Norwood Bridge. It looks like things are moving well this morning. If you see any issues out there, please send us a text to let us know. Here's a look at your gas prices. The Canadian average is $1.77. The provincial average is slightly lower at $1.69. In Winnipeg, the average is $1.71. And the lowest price in the city is $1.50. All this information is on gasbuddy.com.
The Price at the Pump is brought to you by the Kidney Foundation. Help by donating your card today.
It's time now for your answers to our question of the day. Today is April Fool's Day, so we asked, what is a prank that you love? Kim shared, when I was still at work, I brought in a skeleton dressed as a clown, and I placed it into many different places in the office. Baba Joy says best prank for April Fool's Day is for all Oreo cookies lovers. Replace the white icing middle with white toothpaste. Ooh. Tony texted, I have glued my boss's mouse to his desk along with his coffee cup, LOL. Susan shared, my grandchildren put saran wrap around the toilet to get their mom. She was mad. Yeah, I bet. Marva says, my oldest daughter took her sister's baby Aura gel and squeezed it into my toothpaste. My mouth froze as I brushed my teeth. That's pretty good. And texted, I once got down on one knee with a ring box in front of my then boyfriend. As his face started to twist, I opened the box and it read, April Fools. That's funny. And Craig put wieners on a friend's car antenna. He drove for 3 days and not noticed it. Thank you so much for your responses and your pranks.
Question of the day, brought to you by Provivo, Manitoba's #1 cool sculpting clinic. Science-backed body contouring.
Let's go back now to Cancer Care Manitoba with our Ainsley McPhail. Hi, Ainsley.
Hi, Rochelle. Good morning. It's not easy to talk about cancer, but our guests all morning have done it with such grace. We're talking about programs for young adults, and in this segment, we're going to tell you how to donate. Patty Smith is joining us now from the foundation. Patty, kind of give us an overview of this program and if we've missed anything this morning.
Well, it's hard for me to follow this incredible group of people that you've already spent time with this morning, Ainsley, but I've been able to get to know them. 4 years ago, Cancer Care Manitoba had a vision to look at providing supports for this very remarkable and unique demographic of 15 to 29 adolescent and young adults. And today that program is sort of internationally recognized as one of the leading edge programs, certainly in this country. And I think that's because Cancer Care really saw that while treatment is all about survival, a cancer diagnosis is also about living well with cancer. And this group of people has unique needs. They're not children, they're young adults. And so they have concerns about education and jobs and long-term concerns about recurrence of cancer, fertility issues, unique things to this population, peer support, and Cancer Care came to us to say, would the community be interested in making an investment into this kind of program?
And they've answered the call. If somebody at home is watching and wants to give back, wants to donate, they saw who it's supporting, but you see the impact as well.
The impact is huge, and what we want is these people to live well and long lives and become participating members of the community. They're a special group. They're their own village. They're our future. And next week is AYA week, so we're celebrating that, and we're starting that today. People can make donations. This program is only possible because of community investment. This is not a program that government can support. They do a million other things, but they can't do this. And this is all about a quality of life and meaningful, rich lives for young people. So people can call the foundation office at 204-787-4177 or go to our website at cancercarefdn.mb.ca. And there we'd love not just to take your donations, but to tell you more about the program.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Patty. We'll have a link on our website, too.
Okay, thank you, Ainsley. Let's go now to Terry on the rooftop. How's it feeling out there, Terry?
You know, it feels good, but I say that while wearing my big parka today, and I chose this because of how much those temperatures plummeted overnight. Now, we're already making some gains from how far we had dropped off to, but -10 is where we ended up last night, which is well below seasonal, and in fact, other parts of the province plummeted even further yet. We're now sitting at -7, having made some gains over the course of the morning now that the sun is, of course, up, though it's tucking behind some clouds. East winds, they're on the lighter side, just 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure is falling and the humidity is sitting at 93%. Yeah, the areas to the west of us through central Manitoba too, waking up to mid-minus teens this morning, about 10 degrees below seasonal, but you too will make some gains. In fact, parts of northern Manitoba could surpass southern Manitoba with its temperatures today, pushing just a little bit above the freezing mark, which we likely will as well, but barely. I'm talking Winnipeg getting to a high of about 1 degree. Now, +6, that would actually be a normal daytime high. So sure, we may crack the freezing mark, but we're still nowhere near seasonal, and the sunshine, like I said, will be disappearing over the course of the day, and we might not see much of it for the rest of this week, but we're still going to make some gains. Even with the lack of sunshine, the temperatures continue to rise this weekend. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Weather is brought to you by Garage Masters, your complete garage specialists.
More than 90% of people living with or after cancer experience cancer-related fatigue. But until recently, there were no clinics specializing in the problem. CTV's Pauline Chan visited the first of its kind clinic in Canada.
Angela Davis-Woody was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2022 and was treated with surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation. But she struggled to return to her job as a police officer in Kirkland Lake.
I am cancer-free, which I am very, very excited about. The side effects of the treatments have been very, very impactful on me.
She says fatigue hits her from the moment she gets up in the morning.
So I have like brain fog, joint pain, muscle aches, muscle spasms. I have chemo-induced neuropathy.
But since coming to Cancer Fatigue Services, she's made progress and hopes to get back to work.
I'm 100% hopeful.
Scott Adams, founder of the clinic, says there are a multitude of factors that contribute to cancer fatigue.
With looking at things like blood-based factors like anemia and immune dysfunction, hormone imbalances, behavioral factors like exercise intolerance.
And so while the clinic is exercise-focused, it also connects clients with dietitians, psychosocial supports, and more in their home community.
The clinic is physician-led, so most of our services are OHIP billable.
Peter Linnaeus had 2 bouts of testicular cancer in his mid-20s, and he couldn't understand why fatigue continued to be a problem.
It was very much that self-imposed sense of masculinity that I'm just going to barrel down and tough through it, not realizing that there was something actually happening. Why am I taking naps? I'm not even 30.
Why has cancer fatigue not been recognized more widely? Adams says it's a complex condition, and busy cancer specialists may not have time to delve into it with individual patients, but that is changing.
Many of the cancer centers do recommend routine screening for various cancer symptoms, including for fatigue. And then depending on the severity and the impact, discussing with patients about potential opportunities to address it.
Cancer Fatigue Services is the only center of its kind in Canada.
Patients can get referred to the clinic through their oncologist, a family physician, or a nurse practitioner. Pauline Chan, CTV News.
It might not look like it outside, but spring is here, and Easter arrives on Sunday. And when making your Easter meal, pairing it with a nice spring wine can elevate the meal experience. And joining us now with spring wines and Easter pairing ideas is Raina from the Porium. Good morning, Raina.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us. I'm well. I'm better because there's wine here. Let's talk about how the springtime season sort of changes the palate a little bit. How does it switch? What is it that people are seeking at this time of year?
With the snow almost melting, we want to invoke that spring feeling. So lighter, brighter wines, a little bit more acidity. I see more rosés being sold. I see more whites being sold. And, we've got these chillable reds that people are sort of going towards now.
Why is it good to change?
Well, it's always nice to try a new wine.
Yes,
I am very much of a get out of your box kind of person, but the meals that you eat are different. You're not having, big roast meat, beef dinners and chicken, so you need to pare back your wine.
Because you're eating lighter meals, so it goes with a nice lighter wine, maybe a little bit of sparkle in that wine is
Absolutely.
Good too. Okay, so Easter's on Sunday. You brought some nice wines from Canada that will be a great pairing for ham, turkey, all of it.
All of the fixings.
Okay.
So over there I have 3 of our Canadian wines, one from Nova Scotia, one from BC, and one from Ontario. And then if you want to think out of the box, we have different things. Everybody knows Chardonnay or Riesling or Gewürztraminer for that, but if you try something like a white blend or a Vermentino, it pairs really well, but it's a little bit different.
So is it sweeter, these wines, or they're dry?
Not really, yeah.
Okay. And so these are good with anything?
Anything. They're great food pairing wines. Pinot Noir loves food,
Okay, what else did you bring us here?
So I have actually the Gamma Ray, which is a lighter style red from France.
This one here?
Yep, that one there with the really cool label.
Okay.
I have a Sardinian wine here, a Vermentino, that's really light and bright and crisp. This is a new grape that we are seeing a lot of more people asking for.
What is it, sorry?
Vermentino.
Okay, and so is it sweet in this case, or it's nice?
No, it's crisp, dry, it's got a little bit of a saline quality to it, so really great for spring and summer.
And would this be, you'd have to pair this with food, or you can just sip this on its own?
You can sip this on its own, but it really loves food. Old world wines, European wines, like to eat it with food. That's what they do. So that's what they are paired with.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, what else did you bring here?
Well, we all need an Easter basket. And even when you are out of the house and that, having a nice adult Easter basket is really...
This is so cute. And then if you're just hanging out at someone's house and you're just going to have one drink, these are a great option for you.
Exactly. If you're going out, you got to watch what you're drinking.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
having one little can You know, we have a white rosé. This bling rosé is a little bit bubbly, and it is fantastic for the springtime.
From a can. That's amazing.
From a can.
That is
yeah.
cool. Okay, what else do you have? Some rosés are back. Sparkling wines are always in. What
always
else do you
in.
have here?
Well, you know, we find that there's a lot of trends. You know, we've seen the ebbs and flows of wines, and right now what we're seeing is always, you know, bubbles. Always love are always trending. And we have low-calorie wines. You know, people don't realize that a lot of calories come from that.
Lots of
So
sugar.
if you are watching, this is a great wine to try.
We're almost out of time already. You have events coming up quickly. You want to tell us about the popcorn event?
I do. We do a lot of public events. They're listed on our website. The most exciting one that I have going on is our popcorn and wine. We have, everybody snacks on things, you know, and you know, you drink pop, but why don't you try wine and see the experience?
I'm sold. I will try that indeed. Thank you, Raina, for sharing this with us. Again, the Porium is on Portage Avenue.
Portage Avenue.
All right, thank you.
All right, -7. It's been warming up over the course of the morning. We've gained a few degrees already from our lowest temp of -10. We're still a little bit below seasonal, but we'll continue to make some gains. The east winds are light, 8 kilometers per hour. The pressure falling and the humidity sitting at 93%. We've got some heavier clouds. We've been watching them over the course of the morning building up, and they'll continue to stack up throughout the day today. So as a result, that sunshine might be disappearing a little bit, but still, we will be warming up. Not quite to seasonal values, but a little bit better than it's been over the past couple of days. So 1 degree is where we're headed today. And then only dropping to -4 overnight. That's a huge improvement over this past night when it was clear and that temperature plummeted further yet. Tomorrow still only 1 degree, maybe 2 degrees by the time Friday rolls around, and some heavier clouds are expected through the rest of the week, maybe even precipitation by Saturday. But look at Saturday and Sunday temperatures. Great big improvement, only to see it dropping off as we're looking ahead to Holiday Monday. Taking a break right now, but we'll be back with Your Morning Winnipeg.
Rooftop arrangements provided by Lacoste Garden Center. Salon services provided by Essentique Spa Salon.
Well, we're going to say goodbye, but before we do, we're going to show you some fun video. We kick things off with the cutest conversation between a mother and her son.
Mommy needs you to stop getting chunkier. I can't handle these chunky cheeks because it makes Mama want more.
Abby is having a serious conversation with his 3-month-old about how he needs to stop getting chunkier. She goes on to explain to him that he's already 15 pounds, which is hurting her neck and back. Listen as he laughs along. Sounds like he's proud of his chunkiness. He's a cute little voice.
It's an accomplishment. Yes. Well done.
And then it's spring break, and many people are traveling and staying in cool places like this.
Room tour time. This is my airplane for the night.
This is a whole airplane. Janet found this Airbnb in Bali for only $40 a night and couldn't resist. It comes with a seating area and a bedroom in first class. That's cool. Very cool.
That's weird though. Like, it's not flying. It's just
it's just on the ground. Yeah.
All right.
And then Todd Bullock seriously has a dream job.
This is what $0 an hour looks like.
Todd's wife, Susie, is a rising star in the culinary world. She's writing cookbooks and earning tons of views on social media for her awesome barbecue. Her popularity got to a point where they needed to hire help or step back from the business. That's when Todd quit his office job to be a taste tester and stay-at-home dad. Pretty sweet gig indeed. Wonderful. That does it for us. Have a great day. We'll see you tomorrow.